Well, welcome along to a special edition of Betting Weekly Live. You're with Dan Roebuck alongside me, Steve Wyss for now. Nigel Seeley will be with us a little later. In just under an hour's time, the draw for the World Cup to be staged in North America in the summer of 2026 will, of course, take place. And the Betting Weekly crew will be on hand to give analysis, betting hints, and maybe some futures plays as the nations are drawn and the groups are formed. By the end of the show, we will know what potential routes there will be for the market principals to plot their way to a World Cup final. Ahead of the draw, we have got a usual edition of Betting Weekly Live with picks and leans, and of course a daily double on tonight's games. In approximately 40 minutes or so, we'll turn our attentions to the World Cup draw, hopefully when the likes of Robbie Williams, Andrea Bocelli and Nicole Scherzinger have done their bit. No Nicole for now. You have to make do with us, myself and Steve. Welcome in one and all. Steve, how are you?
Well, good day to you, Dan. I suppose it's time for us to entertain you all, as Robbie Williams would say.
Yes.
Listen, this is going to be a mad sort of hour and 40 minutes. We're going to be uninterrupted here, apart from maybe 1 minute break when Nigel joins us. This is going to be a crazy sort of show. The World Cup pre-draw is starting now. We know the draw's getting underway in about 50 minutes time, and before that we are going to have plays as per usual on Friday. But welcome, it's exciting times. The World Cup draw is just it's once every 4 years. Everyone gets to know who they're going to play, and then we're going to get 6 months of talk about how we're going to get on against Senegal, or how we're going to get on against Haiti, or how we're going to get on against a South American team like Paraguay. So these are good times.
It's going to be interesting because it is different. There's an extra knockout round, Steve. Obviously, groups of 4, but best third place finishers go through as well. So it is going to be different in that sense. And obviously, the enormity of North America with games in Mexico and Canada, and of course, the bulk in the United States means that traveling is going to be a real situation that bettors have got to take into consideration. Unlike Qatar, where everywhere was pretty much walkable. So this is different in very many ways in terms of the makeup of the World Cup finals.
But it's going to be a lot different because if we think about, like you said, 4 years ago in Qatar, everything, Nigel was out there, everything was in 2 hours of each other, the same sort of venues, the same sort of climate. No one really had an advantage in terms of a scheduling. If we think about the Russian World Cup in 2018, yes, there were some longer sort of distances to travel, but in general, everyone had the same sort of climate, and it wasn't that hot. We saw the Club World Cup last summer, and some of the games got interrupted by thunderstorms, a lightning risk, and it could get very, very hot in certain areas. Whereas perhaps if you're on the West Coast, if you're in an indoor venue like your Vancouvers of this world, it's going to be much more manageable. I've done my research, and we don't know the venues yet for the actual group games, but we do know the knockout venues. I mean, you could end up being, for example, I think the winner of Group K would potentially have to go from Toronto to Arlington to SoFi Stadium and then back to Arlington again and then New Jersey if you're going to win the World Cup. So, look, we've got to factor in the travel constraints of this World Cup because in the knockout rounds, you sometimes only have 3 or 4 days between matches as well towards the back end of it. It's going to be brutal, and those are factors which I think are really, really important to consider.
And one other thing to mention just before we get into some previews for tonight's games. Obviously, we've got 4 seeded nations. That was only announced, the other week, really. And I was thinking, we might have a bit of a surprise winner. Myself and Lewis Jones and 1 or 2 others were talking about Ecuador or Colombia, and a situation where they might get really deep into the competition. But now it's sort of tennis style. And we'll ask Nigel about this because he's a good man to ask a little later on. You've not just got to beat one big team, maybe, for glory. It's 2. To me, it makes it harder for a minnow to potentially go all the way. I don't know what you think about that sort of seeded system.
It does make it harder, but this will only apply if the seeded team wins the group.
Win the group.
That's the key. You could get all 4 seeded teams finish second in their group, and that system's gone completely out of the water. The FIFA have done it basically because they want to try and they would love to have the top 4 seeds as the semi-finals. They just would. because those are the biggest names in the soccer world right now. The whole idea is to make sure that we don't get England versus France in the first knockout phase, because you're going to lose a big dog. They want as many big dogs as they can in say, the quarterfinals. But it's not a guarantee, because how many times do we look at groups and we all have like a parlay, don't we, like to win 4 groups, and it looks nailed on, but there's always one that lets you down. And that could really. That said, you look at those top 4 seeds, and the likelihood is that they probably will win the groups, or at least you would think at least 3 of them will. So I think FIFA have probably been sensible from their perspective. I know a lot of people don't like this; they don't like the manipulation of the draw. And the FIFA have come under some criticism for it, but they've got to look after their own product. It is a business as well. So I do understand it from that perspective.
Lots of you commenting already. Mike And says, so as I said elsewhere, looking forward to this, but it's typically mad planning that they won't do location or time until tomorrow's show. I mean, that's true. I mean, you can sort of guess, to within 3 or 4 stadia where teams are going to play, but you don't know exactly. And some of the groups are wild, Steve. I think you've got, one group has Toronto and Kansas City and maybe Texas as well. So we're not going to know everything. You're not going to be able to plot exactly where teams are going to go after today's draw. There'll be more information drip-fed tomorrow. Nico's with us. Who else? We've got ZT as well. Steve from Lynn says, let's go World Cup 30 minutes or miles from my house. Can't wait. Either way, that is close. Villa fan is with us, obviously happy with the way that Villa are going. The moment have the house and the kids all on England, says Mr. Lewis. Cannot possibly lose. Not sure about that. Yeah, we got some time. I want to have a concert before. This is true. AZ flights. Yeah, there's all sorts of the usual preamble when it comes to the World Cup. Real Brendan King says, hi from Toronto, looking forward to the stream. How are we liking Andrea Bocelli's performance so far? Well, we're not watching it. We're talking to you guys. We've sort of got it on our sort of screen, but obviously not the sound up at the moment. No, Nathan Judge. No, unfortunately, Nathan can't be with us, unforeseen circumstances. Sorry about that, Adam. But look, over the course of the next, few months and in the run-up to the World Cup, we'll get Nathan's thoughts, so don't worry about that. G. Davis says, expecting Portugal to have an easy draw. Yes, be careful. Steve says, yeah, hoping for Ireland in Boston, although I need to get them in. That is true as well. Keep your comments coming in, and we will get to a few over the course of the show. Look, obviously, there's no draw for another probably 30, 40 minutes, maybe something like that, Steve. So we are going to do the usual and take a look forward to the action tonight. We will get some streams and best bets and big bets from yesterday, last 24 hours shortly. But we want to start with an early kickoff. Brest against Monaco, which is a 1:00 Eastern kickoff here. This is part of the Daily Double. Just because it's a World Cup special doesn't mean we are neglecting our Daily Double duty, which was a winner yesterday from Will and has been absolutely flying recently. And we have got to play on the Brest Monaco game here. Brest, Steve, are the outsiders, plus 235. Monaco are even money, as you can see. Brest with 2 wins recently, one against Metz, who are arguably the worst team in Liga, but the other against Strasbourg, that potentially took their foot off the gas after going a goal to the good against them last weekend. And Monaco, well, they're inconsistent, aren't they, recently, but a big win over PSG, as we know, last time out. I'm not quite sure what we're going to get from them today. What are your thoughts, and what is the first leg of the Daily Double?
First leg of the Daily Double is over 2.5 goals. This is at minus 190 as a single. I advise the over 3 Asian goal line on the advent calendar today. We've got, do follow the Instagram channel. A different handicapper each day is going to give out a $10 play. And at the minute, we're in profit for that. So look, I do see the goals flowing here. I mean, Brest recently, they had a weird run where they weren't scoring goals, but they've hit back with a bang of late. I mean, everyone remembers that crazy match against Metz. Right. And then, they've gone and beat Strasbourg last week. I think the confidence is back in this Brest attack. And if you look at the best players that Brest have, it is in the midfield areas, it is in the offensive areas. So it makes sense that they win shootouts. And I think Monaco, I mean, they're a weird team. I mean, who saw them beating PSG last week? No one had that really on their bingo card, did they? Not 1-0 anyway, especially with 10 men. So, but then you look at some of the other results that they've had since the new manager came in, and they've been crazy. I mean, there was a 5-3 at Nantes, all sorts of strange matchups and goals. So I think ultimately this will be a bit of a shootout. I really like the Asian goal line 3 over for the single, and over 2.5 goals is going to be included in the daily double. With the second part of that's going to be in the Borough game. Just some betting splits on the game, by the way, Dan. 70% of the money is on Monaco, with 85% of the tickets on Monaco, and 84% of the money's on the over in this market. So Monaco, 70% of the money. That's probably what I expected. They still have quite a strong reputation. I wouldn't back them though. I don't think they're trustworthy at the moment. I'm not going to fade them either. I mean, if I need a 3-sided coin, don't I, for the result? But I think the goals has got to be the best angle here.
Overs is the first leg of the daily double on this Friday. This is a special World Cup draw live edition, and obviously the draw taking place a little bit later on. We've got some swag to give away. We've got 3 questions for you, so 3 times swag to get away. I'm going to give you the first giveaway question in just a second. Just before we get to that, the real Brendan King says, I think I saw Nigel next to the president, or was it Gianni Infantino, same size wallet? Yeah, he's not short of a few quid, Nigel. Don't worry about that. Chippy Chip says Spain to win the World Cup. Yeah, Spain are going to be popular. They are the market principles. What else have we got here? We've got Volfan in Jersey from Wisconsin who's in. Also Achubacha from India who is joining us as well. Leslie Mack says, rarely focus on the futures. Give me a lock. Not easy. Daily doubles are hitting hard. This is very true. And
8 out of 11.
Chris Thomas is with us. Hi from a plane over the Caribbean. Chris, if you're interested.
I hope you're not over the Bermuda Triangle, Chris.
Yeah, I hope you're not, mate.
That is the Caribbean, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you going to or coming? Are you going on holiday or coming out? Whichever it is, great that you've joined us live on stream. Just before we get into a few more bets and also some giveaways, last night, Steve, we had Manchester United, West Ham. We talked on the Premier League show, myself, Nigel and Jack, when we did it on Monday, said we can't have United at short prices. I think Nigel actually sort of his lean was both teams to score, yes, which cashed. I mean, it's another game that United took the lead in but didn't get over the line. In terms of big bets, did we have anything interesting in that game? Or indeed any of the Coppa Italia action that we had last night? Anything interesting from the Bet Rivers books?
Well, the biggest soccer bet was actually in Turkish soccer. Belediyespor against Ordurspor. $12,500 on under 2.5 goals in the first half live, and that was a loser, sadly. Minus 1250 as well. So there was a $3.5 play on Man United live on the money line at minus 152. Unfortunately, that ended up a loser. I mean, it looked like perhaps being a good live bet, that one, at minus 152. And then when Man United took the lead, there was a really good bet. Someone had $20. I love these plays, the small plays that win big, on Magassa to score for West Ham. 33-1. That $20 stake netted that particular bet a $660 return. So they're out there, aren't they? You know, if you know where to look. Well, I say you know where to look. I wouldn't have looked down there, but fair play, well done to that particular bettor. You know, there's plenty of big price winners that we've had in the last few weeks.
And Mike says, big shout out to Will yesterday. Never thought I would win on second division Spanish teams double. They're actually 4th tier. They were regional teams against La Liga sides. And Will basically said, look, you've got to take the handicap against the top flight teams. And in every single one where we had regional league versus top flight, the plus 1.5 on the regional team won, and Will picked out 2 in particular. That was a nice double. He's also cashed the daily double, as Achubachi says. Daily doubles are hitting hard. Leslie says, Will, he's locked at the moment. This is very true. He's in really, really good form. Right, this is the first giveaway question for you. We've got a little bit of swag to give away here. First 4 correct answers will win a Bet Rivers top. So what we want to know is which country is currently backed by the most money to win the 2026 World Cup with Bet Rivers. So we're talking Bet Rivers, obviously, American book who sponsors the show. How much money have they taken on the World Cup, on the outrights, on the futures as it stands at the moment? Which team has taken the most cash? First 4 correct answers will win a Bet Rivers top. So think about that. Is it market principles? Probably. But
You know the answer, Dan. I know the answer.
I know the answer.
I was trying to think who I actually would have gone for. I'm not going to mention any names because I want it to be a fair thing, but the answer was an interesting answer, that is for sure. So good luck if you are putting that in there. By the way, Dan, this is a very unique experience. Me and you together on the live show.
On the live show.
Very
never
rarely.
been before.
Has it ever happened before? I mean, we are in rather unusual surroundings. And if I sound a little bit different to normal, by the way, it's because I am on location.
Yes, you are.
This particular episode of Betting Weekly Live. And if I'm hunched over at any point, then it's because I'm trying to get comfortable for this 1 hour and 40 bonanza. Yeah, it's exciting times, Dan.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, it's rare that myself and Steve are on, but it is a World Cup special. But we've incorporated the sort of normal live daily show. One of the reasons that we're sort of on location, the pair of us, is that it is the Betting Weekly Christmas do later. Yeah. So there's a lot of us coming to central London from all parts of the UK, and we're all arriving and assembling at different times for our Christmas bash a little bit later on. In terms of live streams, Steve, on the BetRivers app and the BetRivers website, there's always plenty of live soccer coming your way. And we are going to take a look at the championship fixture for the second part of the Daily Double in just a second. I presume that that game between Hull and Middlesbrough may well be streamed live.
I'll give you the live stream. I'll give you the live stream list now. So we've got Real Oviedo, Mallorca in La Liga. Both of the French games. Yeah. Brest and Lille games are on the live stream. Benfica Sporting, that's a big game in the Portuguese league tonight. So that's a big one. Galatasaray Samsun Spor in the Turkish league as well. The championship game, Hull City Borough, we're going to talk about. Excelsior against Groningen in the Eredivisie in Holland. 5 French Division 2 games. And last but not least, FC Frederica against Odense in the Danish Super League.
Those are the games that you can watch live on the BetRivers app if you have got an account. If you've not, get one. You can watch it on the website as well. We are going to give you some picks and plays and thoughts on the Spanish games and indeed the championship game between Hull and Middlesbrough next. So
the winners are in, Dan. The winners are in.
What's that?
There we go. The answer is England, and we've got 4 winners.
We've got 4 winners.
So yeah, the 4 winners already.
Yeah, well, England was the correct answer, which I think you could have guessed because England tend to be always overbet, but sometimes with an American firm, maybe not so much, but that is obviously the case. So congratulations to ZT386, Achabacha48, Chippy Chips for you, and West0034. Those are the 4 winners. We'll get some swag to you. Troy will be on to you to get some details. To
Please send a DM on X to Troy. He's put the details there on the screen. So get in touch. Well done. I would have actually said Brazil personally.
Yeah, I might.
I would have.
I think
I would have actually thought the US might have been in the top 5 as well.
Yeah, maybe. But I think England are always popular, and I think they've got a great chance to win it. But I sort of would say that to a certain extent. Let's talk. Incidentally, we've got 2 more giveaways over the course of the next. What are we? We're sort of 15, 20 minutes in. So at the moment, we've still got some the great and good of the World Cup hosting world. We've got Heidi Klum at the moment going through 1 or 2 presenting duties with Gianni Infantino. But we are going to talk about the championship fixture next because it's the second part of the Daily Double. It's Hull against Middlesbrough. Fascinating fixture, this one, Steve. Localish derby. Middlesbrough second at the moment. Hull just outside of the playoff places. Middlesbrough are favourites plus 114. Are we siding with Borough or are we going elsewhere? What is the second part of the Daily Double?
Well, I can tell you what the second part of the Daily Double is. I'm going to put it on screen right now. First part, of course, was Brest against Monaco over 2.5 goals. And we're going to keep it very, very simple here and go with Hull City against Middlesbrough over 2.5 goals. And that now pays plus 168 with BetRivers. Now, the main reason I'm going for the over in this Hull game is because Jack Wright, who's obviously been around us here in the last couple of hours, has said you've got to get on this over. And I'm not going to ignore that. If Jack Wright says it's a confident-looking bet, then I totally agree with him. But I can see where he's coming from because, if you look at Hull City's fixtures, generally they don't get involved in that many low-scoring contests, do they? Middlesbrough have got a new manager who I know an awful lot about. He's came in over from the Swedish league. Kim Hellberg, who had a great, wherever he's managed in Sweden's been really good. Hammarby, he led to the second place finish in Allsvenskan this season. They would have won the league were it not for the exceptional Mjällby, the team from the fishing village, who had incredible. If we were talking about expected goals in Mjällby, Dan, you would be going crazy with the overachievement that Mjällby had. Hammarby were the best team on the metrics, clearly. So this is a manager who knows what he's doing. And I tell you what, I can't think of many Hammarby games I'd have betted the under, apart from maybe in a Stockholm derby, which are big, tight clashes. Every other game I'd be looking at overs, because this man likes to play football in an open way, an offensive way. They've had already a good win under him, haven't they? It was again, I forget who it was against. It was only recently, 4-2, wasn't it? It was a crazy result. So I think we're going to see Hellberg come in here and be positive. He's inherited a team going well too. Rob Edwards had a good start at Borough. We know what happened there. Borough fans weren't very happy, but they are very happy to have Kim Hellberg on board. They nicked him under Swansea's noses, and we think this is going to be quite an offensive game in Hull.
The Daily Double returns plus 168, and as a lot of you have realised and hopefully profited from, the boys have been crushing the Daily Double recently. Plus 168 is overs in the Brest-Monaco and Hull City Middlesbrough game. Now, that Brest-Monaco game kicks off in around about 40 minutes' time, less than that. So if you're following us with a Daily Double, get on quickly. If you just want to follow the Middlesbrough game, obviously, it's a little bit later. That's 3 p.m. Eastern if you want to get involved in that. I don't know if you've still got the newsletter graphic. I'm graphicless at the moment. A reminder about the newsletter. I appreciate that we might have 1 or 2 new viewers to the show because it's a World Cup special. If you want a betting newsletter, you are more than welcome to have it. If you like what you hear on our show, sign up for our newsletter, get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. That's bettingweeklystudios.com. There we go. If you want the newsletter, we've got the Insider. It drops twice a week. Lots of stats, lots of info, lots of plays from all of your favourite handicappers and from Simon Holden as well. Let's move on to the Bundesliga match, shall we? Don't know if Simon's listening. Mainz against Gladbach is the latest game we can take a look at. Mainz here plus 170. Gladbach have been bet here, Steve, plus 155. When I looked earlier, they were a little bit bigger than Mainz. They did us dirty with the cup game, didn't they, in midweek when they lost to St. Pauli, but that's their only loss since Eugene Polanski, who's got the job on a permanent basis. I think he's turned them around. I really like Gladbach Tino bet, which was minus 117. It's probably a little bit shorter now, maybe minus 120, minus 122, something like that. But I've sort of got on the Gladbach train. They have changed their style. They've become more of the counter-attacking side. If you look at some of the stats at the start of the season, they were very much front foot and they were getting beat. They're having a shocking start to the season. Change manager, change focus, tweak their tactics. And in Tabakovic, he is a striker who's scoring for fun, for club and country. He's going to be involved in that World Cup playoff game for Bosnia-Herzegovina, incidentally. He doesn't start every single game because obviously Dzeko usually does, but he's great from off the bench. He's a bit of an old-fashioned lump. He's on loan at Gladbach. He's had a very, very good start to the season. I couldn't put anybody off anytime goal scorer, but for me, I'm going to play Gladbach Tino bet. What's your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Will White has a pick on this in the Insider, by the way. Yeah, so the Insider, which I think may well be released into people's inboxes imminently, if not already. Yeah, he's got a pick on this. And I think you might be against each other here, actually.
Really? I'll take Will on all day, every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. Don't worry about that.
And, you know, I don't know which way I want to go here, but because I don't know about you, Dan, but I actually backed Borussia Mönchengladbach in midweek in the DFB Pokal against St. Pauli, and they were stinking. They were awful. And this is a St. Pauli side that lost 9 out of 10 games. Didn't like what I saw. Thought they got outplayed. I thought they deserved to lose. Now, the problem is cups are cups. Funny things can happen in cups, can't they? So
they made 4 changes for that one. I know it was fairly strong, but they still made 4 changes. St. Pauli only made 1.
I'll tell you what, I think for Mainz, this game, I'm just going to put the graphic back up now. I think it's a kitchen sink game for them. I think it's a bit like a cornered dog game for Mainz in terms of the bottom of the table. They're under pressure. They are desperate to get a result, absolutely desperate. And that can sometimes bring the best out of a team, but it can sometimes bring the worst out of a team. And to be honest with you, I just don't know which way it goes. I was thinking about the goals because it could be this sort of desperate situation for Mainz. But ultimately, I'm actually personally not going to touch this game. I'm going to give you some betting breakdowns for the fixture now, if I can just find it. But I personally think it's a very, 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 very difficult game. 64% of the money is on Borussia Mönchengladbach, and 80% of the tickets. 67% of the money is on the over for the game. So, listen, I think I tell you what you got to remember is Mainz were a team not far from qualifying for the Champions League last season. This is the first time in a long time they've had nearly a whole week off. But also, Mainz last Sunday evening were terrible. I was on the under, as you know, and they were a disgrace. Like, that was not good enough. It was horrendous. They had one shot, I think, in the whole game, as opposed to like 25. They lost 4-0. They could have lost 10-0. They had a man sent off. But will they respond here? Can they get... It wouldn't surprise me, Dan. I hope I'm wrong for your sake, that if they randomly got a result. But I'm not going to get involved. Good luck, whatever you are tailing out there.
I bet them, and I'll see Will later tonight, so we'll know who's come out on top in that one. Are you Team Will or Team Dan? Don't answer that. I know you're going to be Team Will. Couple more games to take a look at. World Cup draw is coming up shortly. Hopefully, it's going to start in around about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. We're going to get Nigel on.
Oh, hold on. Just before that, there's a player prop I quite like in this game.
Go on.
And it is on, I'm trying to find the latest price on him, but it's Benjamin Hollerbach to score or assist for Mainz. I think he's still one of their biggest weapons. I can't find the latest price on him to score or assist, but you'll certainly get at least plus 130, plus 140, I think, on him. The Gwen Stefani of the Bundesliga, as I always call him.
You said it. I love that. You said it. I love it.
But yeah, I did. What was his odds? He looked really good price because I'm not on my normal setup. I can't find the price on that to score or assist for Benjamin Hollerbach, but I think he's definitely worth a look.
Steve says parents don't make their kids choose a favourite. Sorry, Steve. Team Dan, thanks. Actually, thank you very much. Leslie talking about Marseille. We're going to get to that in just a second. James is with us as well. Hello to Mr. Easton. Let's have a look at Lille Marseille then. This is more in your wheelhouse and certainly not mine. Lille are the favourites here. Is that a surprise or not? Maybe not. If it was a neutral territory, Marseille would probably be favs here. Lille are fourth, Marseille are third. Marseille just 2 points off Lens, who are top of the table. This is your team as well, Steve. Any angles in for those that want an interest in Lille Marseille? Incidentally, Hollerbach score assist plus 125. You can see it there in the chat.
Yeah, I think anything evens or more is a bet on Hollerbach to score or assist. Now, for Lille Marseille, I think the goals again. The line I like here is over 2.75 goals. The last I checked, it was minus 110 with Bet Rivers. And Marseille have really found the goal scoring form again, you know. And even away from home, where they had some issues earlier in the season, 5-1 win at Nice, I think, gave them a hell of a lot of confidence. And the match against Toulouse last week, they should have won that. I know James was on it on the extra time show, and it should have cashed. They conceded late, and that's the problem I think with Marseille at the minute. The defense looks a little bit vulnerable. I mean, I flagged Lille up, by the way, right from the start of the season as an overside this year, and I think I've generally been proven correct. Would you agree? You got to pick your sides. I mean, last week they were against Le Havre and they win 1-0 again with 10 men, which is a late goal, which is well done. Le Havre are the sort of team that will not suck you into a shootout. They'll suck you into a defensive grind. Lille Marseille just feels open to me here. So the goal line for me over 2.75. I like both teams scoring as well. If you want to add that to same game parlays, Greenwood, we've always got to look at Greenwood now. Now that he seems to have solved his away woes, you know, I prefer backing Greenwood to score, not in the score to score or assist, because I think he's quite a greedy player. And I think he goes for, obviously, shoots at goal a lot. So I think Greenwood any time would be a player prop to consider as well. But main bet, absolutely the main bet for the game would be on the over 2.75.
There we go. Overs for the game. We've got one Spanish game to look at, and then we're going to move our focus to the World Cup draw. We're going to get Nigel Seeley in very shortly indeed. Obviously, we're going to get Nigel's thoughts on just various sort of World Cup teams and his thoughts on the World Cup in general. We'll get Steve's thoughts on some of the bigger nations as well. We'll run through some of the futures prices. Hopefully do that before the draw gets underway. It's always a bit of a movable feast, this, with the World Cup draw. We think it's going to start, Steve, in around about, 20 minutes time? Something like that. We'll get the first balls drawn. We'll run through how it works for you as well. Thanks for Claudio for joining us for the World Cup draw. Always great to see you. What else have we got? Ray's with us. Good evening to Steve and Dan. And World Cup draw. Still going through the usual build-up and preambles with the various dignitaries from the United States and the world of football, but we'll get there shortly. Let's have a look at this Real Oviedo-Mallorca game. Steve, I don't know if you've got any angles in for this one. Oviedo obviously struggling at the moment because they are bottom of the table here. Great to see Simon Rondon still putting his boots on the Venezuelan. Real Oviedo are, as you can see here, slight favourites against a Mallorca side that struggle. They're just above the relegation zone at the moment. They've only won 5 games between them, these two, 28 games in the pair. I always tend to think that unders might be a play, but it's very, very short, isn't it, at minus 195. Might have to go to the under 2 for an underplay there. Any angles in for you in this La Liga fixture tonight, which is 3 p.m. Eastern?
I think this is the best chance of landing a corners over today of the matches we've discussed. Or maybe Hull Middlesbrough actually could be a good one for corners as well. But I think over 9.5 corners would be a lean for me. Even money, actually. That's a really big price for over 9.5 corners. Now, in terms of the goals, this could almost be a bit of a theory game. I mean, Oviedo, they're a corner dog. They're a team that are desperate. They're not very good, but they've got to start winning games somewhere or trying. A home match against Mallorca is as good an opportunity as you're going to get. Mallorca actually had a 2-2 draw last week, which that happens very, very rarely. I think both teams just don't finish enough chances, ultimately, for me to trust the goal line. But I think we might get a frantic game, a bit more open, end-to-end. That can lead to corners. Maybe quite a few shots might pile in. Saves as well. So I think the corners is worth a look in this game over 9.5 at even money. I'm not going to go mad on this because the seasonal stats probably wouldn't support it that much, certainly not in the case of Oviedo. But I think we could get a bit of a more open game than expected in this one. And I'll give you the betting splits for this fixture as well. Dan, we've got 71% of the money's on Mallorca and only 51% of the money's on the over in this game. It suggests that the market generally and the bettors prefer the under overall. And Lille Marseille, by the way, 89% of the money is on Lille, which that's a surprise for me with Marseille involved with the reputation they've got. 94% of the money on the over in that game. And of course, Lille Marseille, that's where I'm following the money in that instance.
That's the action tonight. Let's just remind you of the daily double. If you want to get on, you've got around about 25 minutes before the first game kicks off, because that's a 1 p.m. Eastern game. It's Brest against Monaco, which is over 2.5 goals. Hull against Middlesbrough, which is 3 p.m. That's also over 2.5 goals. So we're overs here. Plus 168 is the price. That is the daily double. As a lot of you know, the daily doubles have been absolutely flying in. We had another winner last night with Will. Hopefully this one will cash as well. But obviously, because it's one of the earlier games, get on now if you're following us in for the daily double today. Brest, Monaco and Hull against Middlesbrough. We are going to take a very, very short break. It'll be a minute or so because we've just got to reconfigure. We're going to get Nigel Seeley in the house and we're going to talk World Cup draw because I think we're around about, what are we thinking here, 15 minutes away until the Bulls start to trot. We'll get Nigel's thoughts on a variety of teams. Likewise, Steve as well. We'll go through the market principles. So just stay with us. We're going to be back in a minute or so.
That
can't hear you.
Live, you're with Dan Roebuck alongside me, Nigel Seeley and Steve Wyss. We hope in around about 15 minutes' time, we will see the start of the draw for the World Cup 2026. Let's welcome Nigel in, shall we? Nigel, look, this is always a special time for football bettors because you can start to plot your particular nation, your particular fancy, and see if they've got an easier draw, an easier group, and so on and so forth. You are a massive England fan. You go to an awful lot of the games, if not all of them. I don't know how many finals tournaments you've been to, but what are you hoping for from an England point of view? A very good evening to you.
Good evening. First of all, is my internet working? Is my sound okay?
I think we're getting there. Yeah.
Okay. No, because I had a bit of a problem there with the third down. I'm looking forward to see where the teams are playing. I'm looking forward to see where each team is playing, what venue they're playing, whereabouts in the coast they are going to be, what part of America they stateside. I think now with the extra group, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for the big nations to get through, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think we are still getting a little bit of issues with your microphone, Nigel. So we might just have another look at that, have a little bit of fiddle with your wires before we come back to you. I mean, look, from an England point of view, I looked up to the draw, Steve, just a few moments ago, and it was Harry Kane missing a penalty. Are we set for more disappointment from an England point of view? What do you think?
I don't know. I think England, look, we mentioned before at the top of the show how they're one of the top 4 seeds, so they have to be considered. It's going to be, I'm interested to see which group that England get in. I've got my notes here. There's certain groups I think teams would be more suited to be in based on just region where they're going to be playing and then the draw from the knockout onwards. But we're going to come to that when we get to it. Just want to mention, Leslie, that was the corners match in the Mallorca game. And Claudio, the best bet today would be the Brest game over 3 goals. It starts in 20 minutes.
Let's see if we can bring Nigel back in. Let's see if the microphone is working. We've got this tennis-style seeding as well, Nigel. We talked at the top of the show here. Is that bad for teams, sort of outsiders, because they've got to potentially get through 2 big hitters now? How does that work? Are you for or against it?
Now, am I back? It sounds okay?
We think so. Go on.
I think it makes it very harder for the lesser nations to prove a shock. So the big teams are all going to be, and the whole draw has been tough to make sure that the better teams get through. That's why they've made it 12 groups. So the ideas of shocks this World Cup are going to be very, very hard to find. The stages are going to be very one-sided. I think the most important thing is for the main seeds in pot number 1 to avoid the teams in the European playoffs. That's where the key areas. You want to avoid those teams in the European playoffs, as they are going to be the tough ones in pot number 4. So I think it's going to be very hard for shocks in this World Cup. I think you're going to get some very heavy favourites, and I think it's going to be very difficult to find outsiders that are going to perform well, especially in the group stages.
We are still having audio issues. I don't know whether you can reconfigure your mic or maybe even use your laptop sound. I'll let you have a quick fiddle around with that as well. While you do that, we're going to have a look at what the futures look like. This is the market for you, the Bet Rivers prices as it stands. And we don't expect, Steve, too many market movements from the prices that you see on screen. The top 4 seeds are Spain, England, France, and Argentina, not necessarily in that order, but Spain are the favourites. And I guess they're the European champions. They've got to be favourites, haven't they, Steve? Here, does the market look about right for you? People always say that England are too short, but given the fact that they've lost the last couple of Euro finals, quarterfinalists last time out World Cup, I think they deserve to be amongst the market favourites. What do you make of Spain and their position at the top of the market?
They're the best team in the world. There's absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. Plus 450, I think, is perfectly fair on Spain. And then after that, I don't really think you can argue too much that I think England and France are level in terms of ability. Some would have France higher than England. Some would have England above France. But, Spain are significantly better. I actually think they'll kick off the World Cup closer to the plus 400 mark. Dan, I really do personally. But I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are personally. on this one. I mean, I don't think we can deny they should be the favourites. It's a question of what price, isn't it?
Yeah, the interesting thing for me about Spain is that heading into the last European Championship, people wanting to fade them. People said that, it was a young squad. They were a side that were probably built for this World Cup or indeed the next European Championship. Lamine Yamal absolutely burst onto the scene and was unbelievably good. And at 17 years old, no one really, I think, thought that he was going to do that. So it's one of those strange situations that, maybe that was a little bit too soon for bettors, but maybe not for Spain, who have done remarkably well in, winning that particular tournament. And yes, they rode their luck in a few of the games, but they were certainly deserved winners in the end in that final against England. We can speak to Nigel, who by the magic of stairs rather than the internet
Well, do you know what? Like, we only had 3 hours to sort this out. And when we went up there, I thought this was working. It was absolutely perfect when I went up. And then when I left it, when you guys started, I thought, well, we'll come back down here. It's much better when we had it. Good to see you.
Hello, how are you? Dan Roebuck, nice to see you.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, anyway, you asked me the question about this World Cup draw. I'm actually looking forward to it in terms of I think where the teams are located is the most important thing there. I mean, looking around and seeing, what part of the country. I don't know whether to have the Bet Rivers website on or Sky Scanner to get my flights. I think it's much of two. Do I get the early value on the flights, or do I get the early value on the odds? I mean, that's the most interesting thing tonight. But I'm looking forward to it immensely. When soccer betting comes around and World Cups, I mean, it's what it's all about for me. I'm a Queen's Park Rangers fan. So we've never won anything, nothing in my whole lifetime, never won anything. And I'm an England fan, never won nothing anyway. So I look forward to this more than I do the Premier League. We haven't been in the Premier League for many years. So this is this is when the countdown starts to me. This is like the big thing about it. Looking forward to it. I do think, like I said, I think the way that the draws are being opened up with 12 groups and all the big guns in one group. I think Group Pot 2 and Pot 3 are obviously very weak. Pot 3 in particular is very weak. Pot 4 is very weak. But you have them Euro qualifiers. I don't know if you heard what I was trying to say earlier, but those European,
that is key.
You want to avoid.
Yeah, they are there, Nigel, on screen.
Yeah, that's what you want. Anybody who's into that, the big guns, do not want to be playing Euro qualifiers. That's the key. If you can avoid one of them, I think we're quite happy with whatever group you get, really. But the location of the matches is going to be important. And I'm hearing that they're going to change the location tomorrow and the time.
It's not necessarily going to change it. You just won't know exactly where they're going to play. It's basically going to be 1 of 2 for match day 1, 1 of 2 for match day 2, 1 of 2 for match day 3. So you can guess, but you don't know exactly where they're going to play. It will be narrowed down. You can see the pots up on screen there as well. And as Nigel was pointing out, you can see European playoff A, B, C, and D. That's in pot 4. So potentially, Nigel, here, you could see, Spain, Uruguay. Then you would potentially get a tough one with, say, Ivory Coast, and then Italy. Yeah, that's possible. That's the worst draw. So whoever, England, Brazil, you've got Ivory Coast, Italy, and then perhaps Colombia, Uruguay. That would be the group of death. What you want from any team, you want to be drawing Australia, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Uzbekistan would be good. Yeah. And then Haiti. Yeah, that'd be that's great. Okay. I'm very upset that Steve hasn't got a tough place to go. Miami's a tough place to go this time of year, Steve.
Well, I'll tell you where I wouldn't want to be going. I wouldn't want to be going somewhere like potentially like Kansas City in the middle of summer there when it gets absolutely ridiculous temperatures. I think the stadiums that have got a roof on them and they can control the climate in them, like the Cowboys one. And the one in the SoFi in California there, I think those are the sort of places you do want to be playing, rather than the open air exposed.
On British Airways Kansas City is the only place you can't get a direct flight from London.
Really?
So you can guarantee that England are going to be there.
I can't believe this. Look at this comment here. Feels like breaking fourth wall with you two in so many. Didn't Cooper win the League Cup in the late 60s? How old does he think I am? I was born in 1973. I can't remember any late 60s.
We're getting ever closer to the draw. Just a reminder, 48 teams placed into 4 pots of 12, based primarily on FIFA World Rankings. The exceptions are the 3 hosts. We know which groups they're going to be in. And obviously, we've got those European playoff teams as well. This is how the contenders have done in recent World Cups. I mean, Spain have been brilliant, as we know, but they were knocked out the round of 16 last time out. You can see England. I mean, we have gone close, Nigel, quarterfinalists, semi-finalists over the last few years as well. You know, we were 4th in 2018 in Russia quarterfinals. You were there for that France game. I mean, from an England point of view, they're second favourites. You see, I think that's the right price. I know people say England get overbet, but when you look at the sort of pre-form, and we're just showing World Cup form there, not European Championship form, but runners up twice, England deserve to be towards the top of the market.
Well, he's got in the 2018, we finished 4th. We finished
semi-finals.
Yeah, semi-finals. I mean, I thought it was 4th round. I thought it's been. I was just about to pick him up on that. I think that I don't want to be this heavily focused on England because there's obviously America, there's Canada as well, who a lot of the people who follow this show follow. But from an England perspective, I think it's our best chance of winning the World Cup because of the manager. I think Thomas Tuchel is such a high-end manager, and I think we've been so close to winning it, but tactical decisions in big matches have cost us. We've had the players, we've never had the format, we've never had the structure. Now we know what he's got, and I think we've got a good chance. Would I bet him at the price? No. I think the price is too low, and I think it's obviously the conditions aren't going to suit us. But I think that by being so close to winning a major tournament, and we have been so close to win a major tournament now, but with a proper manager, if we don't win it now or we don't get to at least the final, I think it's a failure.
Yeah,
I genuinely think it's a failure.
Well, look, he is winning. He is a winning coach. That's it. He's not here for the future. He's not here for bringing, the next generation through. Like Spain might have been with the previous one we were talking about. It's all about whether he can win the World Cup. These are the roll call of winners recently and the pre-tournament favourites of pre-tournament prices as well, Nigel. Look, you look at those odds there. I mean, you're not betting an outsider to win, are you here?
Well, I bet Argentina to win the World Cup last World Cup, and I think they were bigger than that. I think I bet them 8-1. They got beaten the first round by Saudi Arabia, and I also bet Italy. The year they won the World Cup, they were 33-1.
Yeah.
So I bet them. But look, it's dominated by the top sides. I mean, the top nations win, and I think even now with this draw now with these extra groups and extra teams and extra nations in the tournament, and some really poor nations, I think it's going to be dominated by the best 3. If you've got a big horse race or a big golf tournament with 48 runners, and you're getting 4 or 5 to 1 the field, and you've got people like Scotty Scheffler in the field and all that other. I think it's very similar to that. I think the top 5 or top 6 are leaps and bounds above everybody else, and we're having a year of winning favourites in all kinds of sports, domination, and I think this World Cup will be exactly the same.
Steve, we've talked about England, we've talked about Spain. I mean, next on the list, Argentina. They are the World Cup holders, of course. Lionel Messi is going to be in action in MLS Cup final for Inter Miami this weekend. What are your thoughts on Argentina to go back-to-back, Steve?
Well, I do know that having talked to Nathan Joyce over the last year or so about the teams in South America, he thinks they're still the best team in South America. If you look at the actual odds, I'll just put them on the screen now. They're the same price as Brazil, plus 800. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd definitely be choosing to back Argentina. Although I actually like Colombia and Ecuador as sides in South America as well. Argentina, you know what you're going to get with them in the tournament. They're going to be really, really well supported. And we know that come nitty-gritty knockout games, they do have players that will get stuck in and defend for their lives. Messi's not what he was, though, is he? 4 years ago. He's still a great asset, obviously, as well. But this is not the Lionel Messi that was winning Ballon d'Ors year after year. So that is obviously a downgrade from where he was, which would concern me. It might concern me a little bit where their goals are going to come from. But listen, defenses often win championships.
I'd still rather have Argentina than Brazil. I can never work out the Brazil price. They're just a little bit bigger than Argentina. But, you'll talk about you not seeing QPR winning anything. There's a generation that haven't seen Brazil win the World Cup. Last time winners back in 2010. I mean, it's incredible, really. When we were growing up, Brazil were the standing dish. They were the favourites every single tournament. But there are issues there. Yes, they've got some good attacking players. but they haven't got the standouts that they've had in previous years.
No, that's it. And their defence is their weakest part. I think this is going to be a cracking World Cup for goals. You know, I'm a massively traditional underman, and you go through statistics. I think with so many one-sided matches, so many high Asian handicaps on these matches, I think this could be a World Cup that could. Well, it's going to break goal scoring records because of the extra.
Yeah,
but I think we're looking at 3.5 games. I think we're just about to go underway here.
Dan, can I just interrupt you? We need a giveaway. The second giveaway.
Yeah, we do. I can give you the question for the second giveaway is right. Correctly predict at least one country to be England in England's group. You get 3 chances. First 4 correct answers win a Bet Rivers top. So you need to correctly predict at least one country to be in England's group. The draw isn't getting underway.
Who are you going to go? Who are you going to go?
You two have gone early with
which
the draw.
Which team are you going to go for in England's group?
In England's group,
I am going to go with. Can I give my 3 predictions?
No, what is it? Mystic? It's an incredible prediction if he gets this right.
I'm going to say Paraguay. I'm going to say Tunisia. I'm going to say a playoff team from Europe.
Well, I'm going to go Norway.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be.
I'll go Morocco. I'll go Morocco. So all you got to do is correctly predict at least one country to be in England's group. You get 3 chances. So once you've got your 3 in, that's it. Don't start putting in the comments again. First 4 correct answers win a Bet Rivers top. What we've got going on at the moment is the draw for the first seeded team. So the teams from pot 1, we already know that Canada, Mexico, and USA are going to be in certain groups. I don't know why we're doing this because we know
they're the leaders of their country, respective country. They're bringing them out to the draw, and then I think we're probably going to get.
Yeah, we know this already. For example, Mexico is going to go in Group A. We know that Canada is Group B, and we know that the United States is going to be in Group D. So I think this is just a little bit of sort of ceremonial drawing rather than anything else. We know exactly where they're going to go. These are the 3. Any chance for the United States? I mean, they've done relatively well.
I think host nations do well, obviously, and this is an improving nation, and some good players in the Premier League and all across Europe who are playing well. And Pulisic's obviously a great player. The defender at Mitchell at Richards, at Palace. And now another exceptional player, and they're going to do well. Home support. I just think the American nation has to get behind them. So if they can get to knockout stages in the quarterfinals or the last 16, they're going to be very, very tough to beat. But I think they might be vulnerable to be at the early stages before they get.
I tell you what, Nigel, that the winner of the USA's group has a lovely route in the knockout phase. I checked this, and all the group games are going to be on the West Coast in America's group. The winner of that group stays on the West Coast right until the semi-finals. So, if you can get if you're in pot 2 or 3 or 4, I think you wouldn't mind being drawn with the USA, although the US, I think, are a bit of a dark horse in a way now. They've improved in the last few months.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who comes in USA, because USA and Canada as well, to a lesser extent, you would have thought that teams will want to be drawn, but it is difficult, isn't it? It's not going to be straightforward for teams to beat host nations. We've seen that an awful lot. Just a reminder of that giveaway question. Predict one of the teams placed in England's group, just one, and you get 3 guesses, so you can pick 3 different teams. First 4 correct answers wins a Bet Rivers top. We've got 1 or 2 further technical issues. Nigel's trying to sort that one out for us as well, and I think he has. Well done.
Let's just remind people in the box.
Can you believe it? I've actually sorted out a technical issue. The first time ever in my life I've sorted out a technical issue. It's unbelievable, but I've managed to sort it out. No problem. So we are not bar, but. If I'm going to give you, have you asked Steve who would have a bet now before you draw? Who's your bet was? Who's your bet was to win the World Cup?
I haven't, no.
Who's your bet, Steve, to win this World Cup now?
I'm on Ecuador, I'm on Colombia, I'm on Norway at bigger prices than they are at the minute.
But now it's no point in telling us what you've done 3 weeks ago when they're 3 times the bigger price. Now, at this moment in time, on the Bet Rivers web app on the website, who are you betting? Who are we going with?
I will bet Ecuador right now. If I'm going to advise, 100 to 1.
Oh,
yeah.
I hear so many years of these. Yeah, we've been in the game. How many World Cups have you been working on in this year? The first World Cup I ever worked on was 1990. Probably the 1990. Yeah. So I think I've had so many years where people have said, "Oh, Colombia," that 1990 World Cup, Colombia were better. We've had Belgium and the striker Weber. Remember Weber? 1994. And I just think to myself that these teams always get bet, but they never win it. The big teams win it. So you've got to concentrate at the top of the market. I think Spain. It's not original, but the price you've got to be betting Spain. As I said, these are the best teams with the easiest draw, and I think they're going to be all right. I think the draws are even overrunning now, so I'm expecting it now to get underway very, very shortly.
The thing is with Ecuador, I mean, if you just looked at the way that they qualified, they were second in the South American group. They only lost 2 games, which was the fewest of everyone in South America. And the amount of goals that they conceded, 5.
Yeah, but there's only
Caicedo, Hincapié, Pashao. Those are top quality players, top quality teams, and they are the sort of team that might be able to get through to the quarterfinals.
The way the South American qualifying works, if you finish in the top 6, you're gonna qualify anyway. So the Brazilian team.
Are you getting 5th. Colombia by 1990?
If you wanted to bet Ecuador against Brazil, to me, just because they finished second by 1 point, Brazil finished 5th. I don't see that point. I just believe that the way that the South American qualification is set up, it makes it very, very simple.
So why do you think we haven't had in a World Cup finals like we've had a Euros, we've had a Greece at 40s, we've had a Denmark at 33s? We've had surprises in European championships, but not in World Cup finals. Why have we had a big prize winner of the World Cup?
I think it comes down to your squad depth. You get players suspended at knockout stages. You have players who are injured in tournaments. The team that starts the first match for any of these teams will not necessarily, I reckon there'll be 4 to 5 changes of the team that makes the final. It's very rare that the start 11 plays. And obviously with the longer format, the more chances are now that teams with around the 32, there's more chance of people getting injured after long seasons. And it's the squad depth. I mean, some of these players that you mentioned, they were great, but if you took 2 of them out of the team, their team would be depleted and the quality of the levels coming in wouldn't be as strong. You take 3 or 4 players out of the Spanish side or 3 or 4 players out of the English team, we're talking about a position in England, the number 10 position, where you've got Foden, you've got Bellingham, you've got Eze, and you've got Cole Palmer. Now, those 4 players could arguably walk into half of Spain, I'd say most of France, maybe they'd get into their challenge to start 11. I think it becomes a squad tournament, and I'm only using England's advantage as an example because obviously I follow the English team more. But I think those teams can have one-off matches. But I think to win the World Cup, you need proper squads, quite a depth.
Still not ready for the draw just yet, it would appear. We've got a question there from Johnny, Steve. I'll ask it to Nigel as well. He's talking about which teams do we think will come through the Euro playoffs in March? I mean, there's semi-finals and then a final, isn't there, Steve? I mean, Italy play Northern Ireland and then the winner of Wales or Bosnia-Herzegovina. They're going to be one of the favourites. And they're probably the only team, Steve, who will make an impact in the futures market should they qualify.
The teams I actually think Italy will qualify. I like Sweden in the playoff B route. I think Graham Potter can have a bit of magic with them when they get their players back fit. I think Turkey will qualify from C. And I think D is really hard. I don't really like Denmark or the Czech Republic too much. And that just leaves, North Macedonia and Republic of Ireland. Could the Republic of Ireland spring a bit of a surprise there, do you think? I don't know.
I mean, they're away at Czech Republic for their semi-final, and then it's either Denmark or North Macedonia. I mean, you look at those games, you look at those teams, Nigel. I mean, Italy for me. I mean, I know they're poor at the moment, but they would still make an impact in terms of the outright.
I think the most important factor for those is the teams who are at home for the semi-final, and obviously Sweden are away at Ukraine. Well, not Ukraine, but the neutral ground. So that helps them slightly. So you've got to look at home advantage. If Albania are at home against any of their sides, you'd fancy Albania. But the fact that they're away from home concerns me. So I think you've got to look at every single team who've got a home match. So for me, it would be Italy, Poland, Turkey, and Denmark. However, Denmark got beat by Scotland the other night. They battered them, absolutely battered them. We talk about matches where, freaky results. Well, Denmark would have won that game so many different times. And this was a side that got to the semi-finals of the last European Championships. So I think home advantage is massive, and I think those teams coming through the home advantage have the big advantage there. But the teams those four sides are the ones that any of the big clubs, the big nations, so I keep saying clubs, but the big nations want to avoid in this draw. You want to avoid European playoff A, B, C, or D in this draw. We've got a band now. Lauren Hill's on now.
Yeah. Ready or not? Not quite. Not quite.
I thought we'd be ready to go, but it's Republic aren't there.
Look, we're still waiting for the World Cup draw to start. I think it's overrunning a little bit, as these things always do. Mike says 22 top players missed 2022 World Cup, Pogba being the main one. Yet there's always going to be injuries between now and when the World Cup gets underway. There's going to be squads that are going to be missing players for one reason or another. You look at the Barcelona side at the moment, and they're missing some key Spanish players. Are they going to be fit? They were a driving force, of course, for the European Championship success as well. So it's not going to be easy. Troy said Croatia to make the Final Four because it seems to happen every 4 years. Well, it does, doesn't it, with Croatia? I mean, it's just one of those weird things. There are teams that are just World Cup ready. I mean, they've got a dreadful record in the Euros. It's like
they're an Asian side, don't know, and they Steve the Croatians. I mean, they're not.
I was going to say old.
Yeah.
They were an aging side the last World Cup final.
No, but still the same lot. They're 4 years older than what they were. I mean,
in the heat in America, I think that's asking a lot. But there will be some surprise teams that make the quarterfinals. Let's just say that. Norway are an interesting one. I think there's good. Look, there's certain teams. I'll just put the pots up on the screen again. There's certain teams in like pot 2 and pot 3 and 4. The teams are going to want to avoid. Norway are going to be a team that everyone wants to avoid. Cote d'Ivoire, like you said, Nigel. I think Switzerland are a dark horse in 2. There's several dark horses in 2. And the teams that go under the radar as such. And those European playoffs could be. We don't know who's going to come through those. But there will be somewhere along the line. There will be some surprises. We might even get an outsider get to the semi-finals. Let's wait and see. Ultimately, probably the actual cream will rise to the top. And by the way, Nigel, what do you think about the seedings that FIFA have done to guarantee if the top 4 seeds win their group, they can't meet each other till the semi-finals? That helps the favourites, surely.
I think it helps with ticket sales. I think it's all about ticket sales. They want the best nations into the knockout stages. If this World Cup throws up a couple of minnows, then the ticket price is extremely expensive anyway. So they'll have to go to local people. I think it's all set up for ticket sales. So it's, the biggest talking point about the whole thing of the World Cup is how Ronaldo can play in the first match. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's incredible that he's allowed to, his ban doesn't come in effect. So it looks like a World Cup that money is going to be to make money talk, as we can see by the star-studded lineup here. This is why the fans are paying £300 a ticket for the group matches and fined $600, because we've got Kevin Hart, Heidi Klum, Lauren Hill, Robbie Williams. You can get him half price now. He's all right. And you've got Nicole Scherzinger. This is where our ticket sales.
Just on Portugal, we have talked about Portugal a lot when we do the international shows, World Cup qualifiers over the last few years, and the general sort of running theme is that without Ronaldo, Portugal will be better. Roberto Martinez will say, well, every time I put him in, he still scores lots of goals. I mean, there is a real conundrum with him. Obviously they want him to play in the finals. He is going to play in that first game for them. I mean, would Portugal be shorter in the betting? I mean, they're plus 1,100 at the minute. If they took him out or not, how does that work, Nigel?
I think there'll be. I think he's a better bit player anyway. I think people realise that he's still doing it, but he's doing it in a very weakened league around the world. They've got the money, but it's still a weaker league. He wouldn't be able to do what he's doing. I don't think if he's playing for a top club in Europe. But I was at the last World Cup in Qatar, and they rested him for the match against Switzerland.
It's the one that,
they won 6, and it was the best performance they played. But the whole crowd, it was all Qataris and everyone from the Middle East, and the whole crowd was going, Ronaldo, and they forced him to come on. And him being in the scene, the locals bought into it and they sold tickets. Ronaldo not being in the first match of the World Cup would have a massive impact in ticket sales. That's why he's been allowed to play in it. Any other player in the world, no chance. But they need him in the first game. In a tournament, they need to get the public on side from day
But
one.
from a betting point of view, you'd be fading them to win. You'd be, as a bookmaker, you'd be happy to take bets on Portugal because he's in the squad. Because other than him, they've got a brilliant squad.
They've got a brilliant squad, but so many other teams have got a brilliant squad. I think they're the right price. But I think Ronaldo, I think you're putting your hopes on somebody who we still are not 100% sure whether he was. Well, he's not. By law of physics, he's not going to be the same player he was 4 years ago. And people were saying that the last World Cup they should have dropped him in Qatar. And when they did, they put on their best performance. So I think they've got a better chance without him. But I think that the manager is going to be forced to play him because they need to.
He pretty much admitted it. He came on Monday Night Football on Sky Sports a few weeks ago, Roberto Martinez, and he pretty much admitted that he didn't rule out playing him, starting him. So he almost feels like he's forced to do it. I don't know who's forcing him to do it, but you were right, Nigel. The match where he was rested, they won like 6-0, didn't they?
Yeah,
along those lines.
But the whole crowd was going crazy about him coming on. He come on, and it was like it was a nation that never got the opportunity to see him play, and then the American supporters and soccer fans around America will never see Ronaldo. So they've got to make him play. They want to see the big guns in action, and that's what they're going to do. Messi will probably play. Ronaldo will probably play, and then hopefully Gazza might make a comeback for the England squad. We never know.
We're still waiting the draw to start. Still the great and good of footballing world being interviewed at the moment ahead of the first balls coming out. We only know what we knew before so far. Mexico in Group A, Canada in Group B, and the United States in Group D. In terms of travelling around, I mean, Nigel, you travel extensively in the United States. I mean, I think we've talked about it previously. You want as many as possible, sort of Eastern Seaboard. Is that what we're thinking? I mean, it's going to be tricky because we don't know everything until tomorrow where teams are going to play. And some teams could be in Toronto for match day 1 and then Kansas City or Texas for match day 2 within the same group. But there are passages where you can stay East Coast if you win your group and then go on to the knockout stages and generally stay on that side of the country.
I don't think there is many. I've looked at it all. I've looked at all the different permutations for England. I think there's a lot of them, but there's a little bit of travelling around. I'm not quite sure whether that is possible. I think the Americans have got that. The American team with Steve Sepp will stay sort of situated around the same area. Canada will be opened up for them. Mexico, they'll stay around there, but not many others will be as clear cut as that. And in the group stages, some of the differences in group stages are incredible.
Yeah, they are.
They're absolutely unbelievable. But the ticket sales were £450 to go to New York for the opening game, or when the draw was out. And yesterday they were about 1,500, and I think today they'll probably be about 2,500 to go out there. So that's on the flight. So yeah, it's a bit of a wild thing, but I think everything's been tailored for the 3 host nations to make sure that they're off, and everything else is completely up in the air. I reckon for an English supporter to go there and travel, and if England got to the final, I think the cost will be close to between £15,000 to £20,000. You're talking like $25,000. The hotels in New York are like literally £1,500 a night at the moment. So the cost to do this properly is going to be insane.
Mike wants to know if Norway are a one-man team. Leslie says, anyone coming to Toronto, please let me know. Great city. Matt says there are no one-man teams, even San Marino field 11. And Husey says it's 15 grand. That's pocket change for Mr. Nigel C.
It's not. I tell you what, I'm looking at where our camera is situated. You're a lot taller than me. You're about 6'3". I'm about 5'11". So I'm sitting like this, but we look very similar to the host of this show, Heidi Klum and Kevin Hart. He's about your height, and I feel a bit like Heidi Klum sitting here.
If only you were Heidi Klum.
I know you would have had me down there straight away. But we've still got this going on. We're about.
There's a lot of people predicting that Jordan are going to get in England's group, which that's the common theme on the comments. Jordan is a very popular pick for people.
Well, I guess I think it's. Look, England. Speaking from England point of view, we've been in what looks like fairly straightforward draws previously. and they've been anything but. And even Argentina, in the last World Cup finals, they played Saudi, as Nigel was talking about, and got beaten that one, and still managed to make it through. And the fact that there is the best third place finish team goes through, I mean, it's a little, the group stages are not going to be what they were in previous World Cup finals, and that means you'll get one or two more minnows going through. There's an extra game as well to come in. I mean, the makeup of the groups are always going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd say from pot 2, Senegal beat England recently and looked really sharp. Ecuador, a few of us like Austria were brilliant for the early stages of the European Championships. You sort of want to avoid them. Nigel, you picked them. Australia are the ones that you want. Australia were poor, I thought, in qualifying. Japan were excellent.
I don't want Japan. I think in the heat and everything, they're going to be the team that will just run around. They'd be so
potentially, but they are the. I know they didn't win the last Asian Cup. I don't think they did, but they are the best team out there. They beat Germany and give Spain a game in the last World Cup. Have I got that right? I think it's hard for you're right for those non-traditional sides to do well in World Cup finals. But Japan beat Brazil in a friendly recently, and for Japan to beat Brazil, you've got to remember that the J League basically is all local players and a smattering of Brazilians. They hold Brazilian football up to this huge, put them on a pedestal. And the fact that they beat them will give them a lot of confidence. They've got some very, very good European-based players. They were the first team to qualify. I wouldn't put anyone off betting Japan to go deep. I understand the concerns that you're talking about. And I would not want, if I was pot 1 team, to face Japan at any stage. We talked about Portugal. We're not talking about Germany, fellas. I mean, are they one of the weaker teams in pot 1, do you think? When you look at the pot 1 teams there, Nigel, would you suggest that they're one of the weaker teams?
Well, I think Canada and Mexico are the weakest. Obviously, Canada and Mexico are the weakest teams. The 3 host nations will be the weakest teams. But obviously, outside the 3, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to any Canadian, Mexican or American viewers who are watching the show, but they are the 3 weakest teams. Apart from that, I think that Germany are still ahead of Belgium. I think Germany are ahead of the Netherlands. But Steve has a bit more of a negative for the German. And I'm not going to use the old cliche, you can never write off the Germans, but Bayern Munich have got some exceptionally young players who can make a great statement on this tournament. You've got Harry Kane. Harry Kane. I was also about Harry Kane. But you've got the German players who have just been in Bayern Munich being fantastic. I think about the guy who scored against Bayern.
Leonard Carl.
What a player! He's already my look. He's my look for the young player of the tournament if they can do well. So you've got some incredible players there. The Germans. Florian Wirtz is suddenly hitting a bit of form. Liverpool, a little bit of form, so he might be a very different player. So I think they're a weaker German side that we've seen before, but nowhere near. I think there's a few other teams in there. Steve, you've got a neck for him, Steve.
I have, yeah. I just don't think they've got it defensively, Nigel. That's the biggest problem. Think of the great German teams of the bygone years. You'd back them to keep clean sheets, wouldn't you, or keep it tight? I just don't think they've got the defensive ability there. I actually think in a couple of years' time in the Euros, what's the host nation in the 2 years' time for the Euros? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, England.
Have we got it? Is it
England, Scotland, and Ireland? Yeah.
I mean, I think the Germans will be much better equipped in 2 years' time. But I said that about Spain prior to the last Euro Championships. So, but yeah, I just think defensively they'll let people down at ultimately Germany.
Rio Ferdinand is on stage, and Rio is going to conduct the draw. So we're hoping to see some nations drawn very shortly indeed. Last chance for the second giveaway question to a certain extent. Correctly predict at least one country to be in England's group. 3 chances, so you can name 3 nations. Have a look at the various pots. Pick one from pot 2, one from pot 3, if you like. First 4 correct answers win a Bet Rivers Talk. We've had a lot of you have a crack at that. Obviously, as soon as we know the England group, we will sign off.
This is taking forever. What is going on here?
We are now 20. We're 25 minutes.
We're on the tackle.
We're supposed to be on the Formula One circuit.
Someone messaged me and said, "Is this draw going to take place before the first match kicks off?" It's just
I'll be betting the first match. Actually, to be fair, if I got offered odds on this, but I mean, I knew it would overrun, but I never thought to this extent. And you know, the coverage over here in the UK is supposed to stop in 25 minutes. They still got Pointless on. So I don't think Pointless is going to be on. Or House of Games, that's not going to be on tonight.
The TV companies are going, and you guys might be watching this and tuning into us at the same time. A little bit of second screen action here, just going through the various different pots. Just a reminder, 12 teams in pot one. The US, Mexico, Canada, the hosts, of course. Spain, Argentina, France, England, the top 4 seeds. And then Portugal, Brazil, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. Pot 2 teams, Croatia, Morocco, Colombia, Uruguay, Switzerland, Japan, Senegal, Iran, South Korea, Ecuador, Austria, and Australia. And another reminder that obviously from a European standpoint, there can only be a maximum of 2 European sides in the same group. And that will come in when it comes to pot 4, because we've got UEFA playoffs that we were talking about before. Pot 3, the likes of Panama, Norway, Egypt, Algeria, Scotland, Paraguay, Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Uzbekistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa. And just speaking about those North African sides, obviously Morocco in pot 2, we had Morocco get to the semi-finals. You look, once the dust settles on the draw, Bet Rivers will have so many markets about this. You'll be able to bet quarterfinalists, semi-finalists. So, you know, you're poo-pooing our Ecuador selection here, but there will be there will be a surprise, Nigel.
If you were in the bet,
who's your selection, Dan? By the way,
I
think Spain or England will win it. There you go, top 2 in the betting.
I think you're right. I think he's right. I will definitely be betting England at some stage until the price gets bigger. But I always worry that England are going to have some injuries. Like Harry Kane could get injured, Bellingham could get injured, and I don't think Bellingham will be a factor for England. But I think Harry Kane will be a absolute huge blow if we lost him. We haven't got another centre forward. But I mean, the other thing about Morocco, they're so heavily supported. And, you know, and their fan base is incredible. And in America, I think the Moroccans will be one of the huge. There'll be a lot of teams there that don't hardly have any support whatsoever. So, and other teams in that group, you might look at them from your ratings and think, okay, that they're a 50-50 match. But some parts of America are very heavily populated by some of these nations. And some of them, I've got nobody there. So teams that you might think might be relatively easy will not be.
Uzbekistan have a big contingent. The Uzbeki.
Well, I was going to ask you. You know a lot about. I was going to ask you. You know, you and Steve know everything about the world of the football. And
they're meant to be not that bad, you know. Uzbekistan.
Can you name me 2 players? Uzbekistan players. Can you name me? What about?
I can name you the manager. The manager's Fabio Cannavaro.
Kusanov is obviously a Man City.
Yeah, Man City. I
couldn't tell you another.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't tell you another, unfortunately. But what I can tell you is that I think they were either the first or the second to qualify from that particular section. Were they? I can't remember that.
Well, I just want this to get on now. It's now become to the point where
come on.
It's now, we've been on live for 1 hour, 20 minutes. And we're running out of little things to say. So
this might be the longest ever betting weekly live.
Uzbekistan was second in Group A to Iran and straight through to the.
It is just unbelievable.
Ahead of the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, with Kyrgyzstan and North Korea, who unfortunately finished.
Why can't they just get on with this? I'm no joking apart. We've had the acts, we've had everybody, we've explained the draw.
You're shouting at Klaus now.
I know, but like literally, why is this taking that? So now we are at now we've got what's that? Is that Wayne Gretzky?
They're basically 25 minutes behind schedule, what they said they were going to be. The first ball was meant to be drawn. Although maybe, I say balls drawn, the first 3 have been drawn. So maybe that was accurate, but they're about
Wayne Gretzky's on, obviously Canadian.
Who's his son-in-law?
Yeah, I know his son-in-law, Dustin Johnson.
Johnson.
Golfing superstar. I don't know if Wayne's going to help out with a draw here. I think we're
He's going to do the draw. That's the baseball player. An American judge. Aaron Judge. Well, you're a judge. Look at that. I wouldn't know that. Well, I didn't know that.
Don't worry about that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. See if we know this one.
Hit for the bleachers. Who else are we going to say? I presume they're going to help with the draw, along with
Jeff Hurst. Always comes out. It's Jeff Hurst. Jeff Hurst comes out like he's always there.
Magic Johnson, is it? No, it's Shaq.
We got there he is. So we got Shaq.
Yeah, he's going to help with the draw as well.
This will make it even more embarrassing for Kevin Hart. Look at this. Come on, Kevin. He makes Heidi Klum look like me.
Look, we're getting ever closer to some. But let's face it, the market's not going to move as well.
Tom
Brady.
Here he is. No, Kurt Warner. Is it
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady? Tom Brady's coming out.
Yeah, Liam Brady's coming out after.
Look at this.
This is
The
a
legend,
good
American
idea.
legend.
He's not going to
Absolute
fumble, is he?
American legend
He's not going to fumble around with the balls.
Oh, I like that, Steve.
there.
That's why you're here.
The BBC will just put up Birmingham owner.
Go on, Blues.
Yeah.
Who else are we going to see? Is that the lot for the draw?
That's got to be the lot. But I think they bring another lot out for pot 2. This is like the pot 1. This is the big guns. Pot 2, they do.
No,
I think they do.
No way they're going to do it anybody else.
I think they do.
We could be here for another hour.
I think pot
1 person for each ball.
Each one must be doing. Now we're asking questions. How you doing? What do you think about the World Cup?
What do you think about the draw? How are Morocco valued to get to the quarters at plus 600?
Wayne Gretzky's just said he thinks that Haiti have got a chance on the Asian handicap if they get drawn against Japan plus 2.5.
You can cover the handicap. We are still waiting, as everyone is. Tribe of Gaza. I've missed it all. What's happened, Tribe?
You missed nothing. You've missed
absolutely
nothing.
Nothing. You've missed an hour and 22.
Tribe, you've timed it absolutely. He's timed it absolutely perfect.
He has actually.
Get on it straight away.
Taken Tribe of
absolutely
Gaza
perfect
ahead of the show. Obviously, the balls are going to come out very shortly.
How many times have you said that?
About 8. What's
your over and under? How many times Dan has said the balls are going to come out very shortly from now to the end of the show?
Last chance to get your guesses in.
Get those guesses in.
Listen, there's some good swag to be had here. All you've got to do is predict at least one country to be in England's group. You get 3 chances. First 4 correct answers win a Bet Rivers top. What's the score in the Lorient game?
We'll be running into Betting Weekly PM in a minute.
Is it the Brest game?
Mike Carver's just come in the stream and he said, "This is awful. Draw the team."
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's not ready to go live. I think he was talking about the show rather than the draw. Surely, there you go.
Oh dear. Leslie says easy on the guy.
Right, it's got a bit. We got a bit. Oh no, they got all talk now. What's going on?
This is it. Oh, is there
it's an idea of a joke. I think some comedy value, which is not really.
Who's it? Come on, let's get to. Who do you think is going to be the easiest draw from Spain or anyone in pot 1? Who do they want in pot 2? Australia, we said before,
or Iran,
and then Uzbekistan. Potentially
Panama,
and then anyone really.
Panama be good.
Anyone in pot 4 bar the qualifiers.
Yeah. So now we've got to watch every team in pot 1.
I think I'll be looking at the likes of Qatar, Saudi Arabia.
So we've got literally like an hour 30 seconds segment of every team of the draw.
Here we go. USA.
We thought we'd be done by now. We thought it'd be over by
over 9.5. Says Batcha.
Good job you got that covered. So you going?
Don't worry about that.
Keep you going there.
Are we looking at all of? Oh, these are all the teams in pot 1.
Yeah, but there's 12.
I'm going to give you a little bit of voiceover. This is Argentina, twice World Cup winners, 1978, and of course, are they 3-time World Cup?
3-time World Cup winners. 78, 86,
86, and the last one. Yeah, France, of course, winners in 98. And
that's it. Only one. But they went twice. Yeah,
England, of course, winners.
I know. 66.
Harry Kane missed penalty. Reece James, hopefully he's going to be fit. He's brilliant against Arsenal today, and then he missed out midway. Brazil, of course, winners back in 2002, and what are they, 5-time winners? Adam says, "Don't you lot have your Christmas party?"
We have. We're running late. We might make New Year's Eve.
Grayson says you're going to miss your night out. Listen, this is our night out.
This is
it.
These are the things we do.
This is much more enjoyable.
We got a literally 3 hours of free alcohol starting in an hour's time. We got to be there in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to need a stiff drink or two after this.
Here we go.
Come on, let's go.
This is it. Come on. This is it. Come on.
Sorry. And we still got more.
Come on, Rio. Crack on,
everybody.
So Rio is about. No, Rio's hosting it. Who's actually going to draw?
It's going to be these legends of American sports come out. Yeah, the superstars.
Matlock says USA will be exciting with Freddie Adu. Yeah, he's still the future of the United States team. Don't worry about that, Freddie.
I went to Vegas and I commentated on a Las Vegas Lights.
Oh, Las Vegas Lights when he was playing. Yeah, love Las Vegas Lights. Played all around the world, Freddie.
Yeah,
love him.
You met him?
No, he was just such a great player 15. We never kicked on.
So was I.
Great. So this is not going to speed up.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Correct.
This is unbelievable.
Right. First ball is about to be drawn. You said over 9.5 for balls. That's your
a lot of time, Stan.
You guys went early with the balls drawn when we had the ceremonial ball drawing of the United States, Mexico. And
from now on, so this gets going at 6:30. We are literally half hour, and it was scheduled to stop at 6:40. So we're going to be 7:10 here.
Well, technically,
I think I'm a buyer. What's the
spread?
What's your over and under when this World Cup draw will finish?
I'll go 6:55, 7:05.
Oh, I'm well over that.
Over that.
Over 7:05, Dan.
I think it's a 2-hour time.
Here we go. The first team's coming out.
Yeah.
Come on, ladies and
Here
gentlemen.
Here we go. First team out.
So first team to
Brazil.
is Brazil. Now, which pot is that going to go in?
Now someone pulls the pot out, didn't they?
I presume it's just going to go.
No, I think they pull out the. Did I read it here?
Carlo Ancelotti, of course,
Yeah.
Brazilian coach. Not quite sure.
I'm sure they pulled the group. They go straight to C. So it's going to go all the way through. So alphabetically. So Brazil going to C. So where's that looking, Steve? What side of the draw?
That is looking. I think it's more on the eastern seaboard. Let me get my notes. Yeah, East Coast. This group's going to be on the East Coast.
So Germany going to Group E. Nagelsmann.
That's an East Coast or sort of central zone.
But they can change it, obviously.
I don't think they can. No, they can't change it. It's just either
or.
Change
the
zone. They can't change the venue. So, for example, Germany goes into Group E, and Group E, you're going to get games in Philadelphia, in Houston, in Toronto, Kansas City, Philly, and the MetLife in New Jersey. The Dutch are going to go into Group F.
I think they're quite a weak team for pot one, the Dutch person.
Guadeloupe, Houston, Arlington, Kansas City. So that's going to be that is going to be tricky for the Dutch, I would suggest.
There's matches in Mexico in Group F. I think at least one.
Yes, there is.
Scheduled.
Yeah,
again, it could change. I don't know.
Belgium. So the groups K and L obviously was the last matches of the group stages. So that the A, B, C are going to be early, and then obviously the K and L will be the last days of the group stage. So the
Group G is a West Coast group that Belgium are going in. I mean, whether that changes, I don't think it can now. Dan, can it? It's going to be a West Coast zone for them.
Definitely, it's going to be SoFi Stadium. It's going to be Seattle and Vancouver.
Spain in H. Where's
I like that area.
H. Spain started in Miami at the Hard Rock.
It could be Miami, or it could be
They'll put Spain in Miami. When Carlos Alcaraz was in Miami, it was incredible how many people went to see him. That's an absolute perfect draw for Spain to start off in Miami.
Like that one.
They're absolutely perfect draw for Spain being in Miami.
What else?
Absolutely ideal for them. Argentina
are going to be in Group I. So that's going to be Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, or MetLife for game one.
Messi in New York.
Maybe not ideal. You know, you want them sort of.
So where's JK? If England get J, that's Kansas. That means you can't get a direct flight from London.
I've got written down the worst groups to be in for England would be IJLK.
J is the worst you can possibly be. L is Toronto. So I think England that would be. England do not want this Group J, or the supporters don't want this.
Argentina
in Group J. They've moved it. So they've moved Argentina.
So Argentina could not be in Group I for whatever reason. Why? Don't know.
Don't know.
They would have explained it.
So I could be New York again. It could be England in New York.
It's France. So that's going to go into I presume.
So France are that's not a bad draw actually. Yeah, that's a nice little group there.
France going to I.
K and L. It's going to be Cats. So now we've got so England are going to be in Houston or Toronto in their first match.
Oh, you don't want K. You do not want K.
It's not a great route, K. I don't think.
You don't want K.
Portugal. So England are in Canada. Who said it? Who was it? From the group that are in Toronto? let me know. I'll be there. We'll be coming. We're coming to, because we win team are coming to Toronto.
The winner of Group L would have to go the route of Atalanta, Mexico, Miami, Atalanta.
We've got to go
in the knockouts.
Where do we go knockout, Steve, from the first 16?
But if you win Group L, you've got to go Atalanta to Mexico to Miami to Atalanta.
Oh, my God. No.
That is tough for England.
If you win the group, that is. If you win it.
Well,
if you finish second, I don't know.
So we will
open
our first
from a
campaign
logistical perspective.
One of those two.
Toronto or Arlington.
Arlington's Texas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a really good stadium. That's interesting. But as Steve points out, win the group and suddenly you are state hopping.
I mean, that's me staying home for Wimbledon. I'm not flying around to Toronto and in Dallas and in Toronto and
So winner Group L.
So
winner Group L.
So look at Spain's group. Look at Spain as H. So Spain are obviously the market leaders, and they've got this. They start off in Miami. So if they win their group, they
go to SoFi Stadium, and then Arlington, then SoFi, then Arlington. That's perfect. They're indoor stadiums.
Spain have had the best
places. Spain have got a right touch there, I tell you.
Yeah. So Argentina and Spain are going to different sections because they're the 4 seeds. That's why it is.
Is that plus 450, Nigel? That's looking really good.
So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. So England will be their route. They'll avoid Brazil and they'll avoid 2 of the main teams.
Well, it depends where they finish in the group, doesn't it? Thanks for Adam as well. Adam basically says Argentina and Spain have to go in different sections. That's absolutely right. And Effie says England in L, prophetic to losers. Effie, come on. But yeah, you might well be right. That we think this is a win for Spain at the moment, but obviously we don't know.
Big win for Spain.
Just in terms of potentially where they're going to play. Obviously, they've got to win their games to make sure that they go to those particular sections. But as you say, it's either or. And one of the reasons they're doing either or is because they will put Spain in Miami. Yeah. They're not going to put them elsewhere. And you're right, it's the same with France, same with England. They'll put them where, A, they can potentially sell more tickets, B, where they know fans are going to be, and so on and so forth. So it's not going to be, even though it looks like it's either or, there is going to be a little bit of business sense, common sense about where those teams are going to play. We're going to get to the second quarter.
Those pots there, Steve, like you definitely think that Spain are going to get shorter than plus.
I think so now, based on.
But will they plus 350 pre-draw?
No, 450.
450 between. But they're going to shorten. England will drift on that. England will drift.
Let's see who the pot.
Just looking at
teams.
the other teams in the pots, aren't we here? So what we're going through here, this is Switzerland.
Here we go.
Who always tend to get to the knockout stages, but generally get knocked out penalty shootout. Japan, I thought they were brilliant in the last World Cup. They were excellent in AFC qualifying as well. Got some really good European-based players. Senegal beat England. Were you at that game?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at Wembley. It was away, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was City Ground or something?
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, I thought Senegal, they've got some fantastic players. Iran haven't got a delegation here at the moment, but potentially, hopefully, the squad will be there. Always a little bit dangerous, and they'll have massive support in the States.
Colombia and Spain in Miami open would be absolutely incredible.
If Korea, not as good as they used to be.
If you got Ecuador, if you got South American side,
wasn't the USA '94 is where Korea beat Italy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Korea have some decent support depending where they are. Austria under Rangnick.
Uruguay v Spain in that would be incredible.
Yeah. Last team that's just shown on screen is Australia. I thought they were very, very fortunate to make it through, and they should always qualify from the AFC.
They're the team you want from two, aren't they, really, Australia?
Yeah.
I understand. Here we go then. Here come the Bulls. Come on, Rio. Put yourself in first gear.
So, what... Do you know what? I'm quietly flat after England being drawn in L. Because that route, that's the worst result in terms of cost. Flights to Canada, Toronto are so expensive anyway. And then to travel across,
for group stages, you could potentially be all East Coast.
So England England will play the opening match, whoever they draw in pot 2. France will open their match against pot 2.
I don't think that.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah, and Group A will be from pot C because the opener could be Mexico again. So this will be.
So England's hardest match, ostensibly, is going to be the first.
First. So Korea with Mexico.
That's a nice draw for Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah. So Mexico will play Korea. That'll be probably their second
It'll be
match.
their
Yeah,
second match.
the World Cup opener will be whoever's drawn from Group C, so pot 3 to play Mexico. That'll be the opening game of the World
first
Cup.
game, yeah. I mean, Mexico aren't as good as they were, but you'd still take them to win that one at home, I think, wouldn't you? Next one out to go into Group B potentially with Canada is Switzerland.
Oh, that's a nice draw for Switzerland. I like the Swiss here.
I mean, in a way, it's a nice draw for Canada. I mean, James in the chat put Jonathan David for top goal scorer. I mean, Canada have got some good players. And Jonathan David's not having a great time of things at Juve at the moment, but he's got a great chance to start for them at the minute because Vlahovic is out until March with knee surgery. So it's a big.
So this will be the first match for
Brazil.
Brazil will open the World Cup against whoever's this ball to. He can't open the ball.
Come on, son.
Come on,
Big handling ball.
Come on, Shaq. Hurry up, mate. We got to be on the starting grid. Morocco. That'd be a good game.
They're not a bad side, Morocco. Not bad.
Brazil v Morocco. That one will that be?
World Cup semi-finalists last time, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were. Back to.
So that will be the opening match in Group C. That'll be the second game of the tournament, the second day of the tournament. Morocco v Brazil. That'd be a good match.
Yeah, third Group C is that?
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
So third day.
So that'd be the opening match in there. Brazil, Morocco.
The USA
that will be at Gillette Stadium or the MetLife on the East Coast.
So you got America now. Who are they going to get in the group? This won't be their first match, but they'll be in the draw with Australia.
They've looked out there, the US. That's a great draw.
And there's some tough teams now in this draw.
And that game, we know for sure, will be played at Lumen Field, Seattle.
That's the third game. Second
game.
Okay.
Second game. They're the ones we actually know. The United States, I think.
So they'll play D3, yeah. Lumen Field,
Seattle. Yeah. I mean, Seattle got great soccer fans in Seattle. I know Lumen Field's American football NFL stadium as well, but terrific fans.
They'll beat Australia.
Sounds proper soccer club. So that's USA and Australia in the same group. Germany, Ecuador.
Steve, you like that? He doesn't like the Germans. He loves the Ecuador.
Well, I did just say, didn't I? Yeah, I think
Stevie Wyss.
A massive win for Steve Wyss.
He'll love a bit. So we've got the Netherlands. They will open their World Cup campaign
potentially in Mexico. Might be in Arlington.
Against.
There's going to be another European team in that.
John is it on graphics? Graphics are a little slow with these. You can see just on our ticker at the bottom of our screen.
Japan.
Oh, there's goals in those games.
Yeah.
Netherlands, Japan. Get that down as an over straight away.
There's quite a few Japanese players playing Eredivisie. That's going to be an interesting one.
So who we got left for England? Croatia, Colombia, Uruguay, Senegal, Iran, Austria. Who don't you want? You don't want Colombia or Uruguay. I wouldn't want that in their opening game of the World Cup.
Yeah, and they got 0-0 written all over it.
Well, all of them have got 0-0.
England did get Iran, didn't they, in the last World Cup? Maybe they get them again.
I wouldn't want Croatia either.
I
want Senegal. Every one of them's tough. I've run Iran. Every one of them.
Oh, Iran are gone now. Iran are gone.
The next matches are tough for anyone.
England are going to have a tough team from pot 2 here.
And that second Group G game. Yeah, that's an interesting one because that's West Coast. That's either in Inglewood, which is Los Angeles, isn't it?
I don't know how good Iran are these days. To be fair, that might be
or Vancouver.
So this will be incredible if they can get Colombia, Uruguay, Spain. That would be.
And that's the last game.
That's a spicy game.
Uruguay
Bielsa against Spain. How about
where will that be? Where will that be?
That potentially is either going to be in Houston or Mexico. Right. They won't put it in Mexico, or will it?
That's Marcelo Bielsa against Spain, eh? That's a great.
Yeah, that's a
lovely. That's a lovely game. Yeah. Was it Chile that beat Spain?
So France will open up against. They did beat. Chile did beat.
Yeah. I think England could do with Austria here.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve.
I think England could do with Austria if possible.
Senegal with
Senegal
France.
will go France. That's a good
Didn't they
one.
play each other the first round of the World Cup?
Yeah, in 2002 when France were
France
defending
and
champions,
they beat
El Hadj Diouf and all
and
that.
Senegal beat them.
And this is it. And most of the Senegal squad, I say most, some will have been born in France. That is going to be an interesting.
Where's that first match? Group I.
So Group I, first game is
New
either
York?
gonna be at the MetLife or at Gillette.
That'll
So
be a
each
cracking
place.
match. France v Senegal in New York.
Yeah, that'll be some game. God, you half fancy Senegal. Depends.
Right, who's going to be with Argentina then?
Austria. We got Croatia or Colombia.
Well, England want Croatia now.
Crankle vibes
because I think Colombia are a decent
against,
side.
Argentina.
That's a nice draw for Argentina. Austria are all right, but they're nothing special.
Grayson says, we're looking at Colombia here. You might be right. Inglewood, LA. Thanks, Henry. Dutch are in sure they got the Japanese says FE. I like Japan.
If England get Croatia, they'd avoid Norway and the other Euro team. So we could do with
Colombia. So England have got Croatia.
That's a good draw for England.
England v Croatia. What day is L first match?
I'll tell you more importantly, Nigel.
Either at Toronto or Arlington.
Sorry, mate.
England, I think, would now avoid Norway or any of the other Euro teams. So that's actually that's worked out all right actually for England.
So all of a sudden, Group H is looking like the group that could be if Spain don't get a European side in Pot C, they could end up with like Italy, could be Spain, Italy, Uruguay. That could be that looks like the group that could be the one that the group now that looks the easiest one for me is Group D. USA, Australia, and the Canadian.
You know, I know you're down on Croatia, but they did knock England out in the semi-final.
Did anyone predict Croatia in the chat? I do wonder if anyone.
Did anyone predict Croatia? You might have a top coming your way. I think we've got how many are we going to give away?
Have we got another question as well?
Yeah, we've got another one.
ZT did. ZT 3860.
Yeah, we might as well get that
question. Pot 3 teams.
We're running for time.
Well, the thing is, because it's in Group L. We need to get it out now, don't we? No, you're absolutely right. We need to get it out now. Right. Obviously, that particular competition is still running, but we've got a third giveaway question for you as well. Third giveaway question for you. Every World Cup, producer Troy roots for the same two teams, aside from the USA, to win the World Cup. Guess one of them. Hint, one is in Europe, one is in Africa. First four correct answers get a Bet Rivers top. So, producer Troy roots for the same two teams, aside from the USA, to win the World Cup. Guess one of them. One is in Europe, one is in Europe. Obviously, we've still got
one is in Europe twice. One is in Europe and one is in Africa.
Sorry. We've still got the England one running for those that had a crack at that, but because it's in Group L, we'll get the third giveaway for you as well. So get your thoughts in first.
I want to shout out to both producers, by the way, today, Troy and John. John is out behind the scene. He's working the ticker beneath, which is showing all the groups, and there's been a lot of work gone in behind the scenes for this production today. So thanks to everyone involved.
We're just looking at pot 3 teams. I'm sure that everyone's watching it as well. Scotland, don't go back too soon.
There was a couple of people there who mentioned Croatia, and also go about England. Croatia was the first match of the last European Championship, the COVID Euro finals. England played Croatia.
1-0 England, wasn't it?
They beat 1-0. Calvin Phillips, Sterling scored. Calvin Phillips set him up. Beat them 1-0. We opened the Euros, the last Euros, with a match against Croatia. We probably played Croatia. England probably played Croatia 3 or 4 times in like major tournaments in the last.
Yeah, I think that'll be harder than people think, just because there's 1 or 2 aging players there. We get.
Can you tell which Scotland might go in, Mike? Well, they definitely can't go in the England's group.
They can't go in any group, Mike, that's got 2 already European nations in it. So there's 2 European nations in Croatia. Scotland can't go in it, so they can't go in England's group. And I think that's the only group with 2 European nations in it, isn't it?
Yeah. We're just looking at Saudi and South Africa is the last team that we're looking at here. Obviously, they were a little bit fortunate to go through, have 1 or 2 issues with ineligible players, I think, didn't they, in their qualification process. But Bafana are at the World Cup finals, and they are in pot 3, and we're about to get all of the pot 3 teams next. There we go. Pot 3 teams up on screen if you're watching along at home. Still have a crack at that. We want Troy's favourite teams basically in the World Cup finals. He's got a couple of them. Name one of them, and you will get a top, a little bit of swag coming your way. Stephen Wynn says he's on Colombia from 3 months ago. Yeah, we like those.
They'll drift though.
We like those.
I gave out Colombia last summer at 200 to 1.
Oh, well,
all right.
Easy.
All right.
Right, here we go.
H and K are the two draws because they could get some tough Europeans. So they want to draw. If you're in Group H or K, you want a European
look
team.
at this.
There. Mexico, they want an easy group. That is.
How easy is this group? Mexico suddenly looking really good here.
What price were they pre-draw?
Massive.
They're not that good though, are they?
200?
Mexico, they're all right, I think. But
yeah, we can't put them on our second coast.
Well, they got half a shot. Look at that group there. One of them.
that is as easy as you're going to get in that group. Imagine if someone like Haiti came out of pot 4 for that one.
Yeah. Some team like Italy are going to get in Group A and they're going to open up for it and they're going to be bet.
Who else have we got?
So Group B, we have Qatar. Well, another easy group.
I'm really liking.
I mean, in a minute. There's more groups, there's more nations. They're all going to start to look a little bit easier. There's going to be some standout.
If you've got H and you got K, and they get a non-European team here, then they're going to get a European team out of that bottom pot. And then there's 3 teams there who all have got aspirations of getting to the knockout. Look deep in the draw. K and H are already going to be very tough.
Next out for Group C,
Paraguay.
Oh, hang on, they can't go.
So they'll go into D, won't they?
Yeah, they will go into Group D.
They're no mugs, Paraguay.
Then they're no good.
The USA, you said they're good. USA, Australia, and Paraguay, I think, will be in Group D. They're going to Group D.
We've got the giveaway answer. Netherlands is one of the 2 teams. Congratulations to Kevin Broster, the real Brendan King. Can anyone guess the other team? First 2 correct answers will win. The other team. So we want Troy's other favourite team. USA, Paraguay, and Australia.
And did we get 2 people who said Croatia or 1 person said Croatia?
Yes, but there's 4 to give away, so we still.
Oh, okay.
We're still waiting on the other 2 groups in England. So it's just the luck that they're in Group L. Otherwise, we might get there a little bit earlier. But we're not getting there earlier, unfortunately, with this draw. Nothing is being done earlier today. Cool.
Oh, what a tough group that is.
That is something. All the equivalent.
And they've got
Lewis Jones and co.
And they've that's in Group C. That goes in Brazil because
it's C, isn't
Brazil,
it?
Morocco, and Ivory Coast, and that means you're going to get a European.
Hang on, no, it's not.
Oh no, it goes in E apparently.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because Morocco, of course,
Germany, Ecuador, and Ivory Coast, which means
Germany. I'm not being funny. They might be into threat here.
But you've also got to remember, Steve, is they're almost certain to get a European team now because there's one of the European spots.
Yeah. They have to. They're
going to get a qualification team as well.
That is tough. Really tough.
Tunisia. Get on the unders for Tunisia games.
Absolutely. African Cup of Nations coming around in Jan.
Tunisia against Iran will be an under. Tunisia, Iran will be an under. Oh, no, they're going in F, aren't they? They're going in F, I think. That's a shame, actually, because Netherlands and Japan are over teams.
So F is Tunisia.
Oh, yeah. They've spoiled the party for that group. That was looking really exciting group, and then Tunisia rock up, and they're the most boring team.
I like Japan in that group. I'm taking Japan all the way.
Belgium, Iran.
Along with
Egypt.
Mm.
Oh, hang on. No. Yes, it will.
Yeah, we're right.
Yeah, we're right. Yeah.
Well, it's looking like Group C's may well have to be Norway or Scotland.
Scotland will love that.
Scotland were in Brazil the last time they were in a World Cup, weren't they? They played.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I remember 1982, David Neri.
Yeah, free kick. And they got beat 4-0.
I know, but it was 1-1 draw. 1-1 with Neri.
Zico and Falcao and all them.
Falcao there. All them. So Belgium, Egypt, and Iran all in Group G. Spain, as we know, and Uruguay already.
Scotland will go into Group C.
Scotland will go in Brazil. Scotland will go in Brazil, won't they now?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, Scotland, Brazil again.
It's
incredible.
Scotland, Brazil, Morocco.
They'll be loving that draw. Scotland will love that.
Yeah, you speak to Scotland fans, they just want something like that. They don't want another European team. So they've got Brazil and Morocco, which will be suit them. Obviously, we'll get knocked out in the group stages.
Probably
but
the best chance that Scotland have got beating Brazil as well, isn't it? The way Brazil have been.
Next ball out. Come on, Aaron.
So they go in a H. So
Could well be.
If it's Norway, Saudi Arabia.
It can be Saudi Arabia. It can be Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And Norway will go in I or K. Look at that. I and K are looking rough already. Because Norway's going to be in I or K. It can't be with England.
Yeah, I and K are the tough ones, aren't they? But also, even if they get a minnow, Steve, they're going to get that European qualifier as well. So even if they pull Algeria or Saudi or Panama, they're still going to get one of those European tough matches as well.
England are going to get Panama, Algeria.
Uzbekistan would be nice.
Algeria into, where's that going to go?
Where did they go then?
You're going to go in I.
No, they're not.
No, they're going in J.
They're going to go
Argentina,
in
Austria, and Algeria.
Yeah.
This is when it's hard to keep track, isn't it? Where a team can and can't go. But Algeria do go into Group J.
So the France group, they can't get out. They can queue any one of these. So whoever pulls out here,
France is going to have to be
match.
Yeah.
So it could be, and then England will play the Panama or Uzbekistan.
Congratulations to Annie R18 and end
Uzbekistan
of line. End of
so,
line.
Now we know that England are going to play Panama because they can't play. So Norway will go in that group with Portugal, Norway, and Colombia.
Oh, that's tough.
England, Croatia, Uzbekistan.
Oh. No, England are going to get Panama.
Yeah, but England, Croatia, and Panama. Sorry.
England did get Panama last time. I think they won 6-1.
It was a real battle, wasn't it? But in the end,
Kane scored a few. Did he?
Harry Kane scored three
penalties.
He scored a hat trick. He get 2 penalties or 3 penalties in the match.
Oh, hold on. Uzbekistan have gone with Portugal and Colombia.
Yeah, that's right. So, hang on. Oh, that's because. Why is that?
I don't know why that is.
Why didn't go in where?
That is, to be honest with you.
Where do you think?
So why have Norway been forced to go with France and Senegal?
Why haven't they gone into the France-Senegal match? Why wouldn't they go into that?
No, I don't know that.
So Panama will go into England's group because there's 2 Europeans, and France and Senegal will be with Norway.
Exactly.
That's another. France, Senegal, and Norway.
That's really tricky.
That is a shame actually for Norway. That's a really tough group already for Norway. But they can't get one of the big Euro qualifiers from Pot D, so that's a relief there. I mean, third place teams do go through, remember? So
yeah.
Some of them do.
John Stone's brace, Adam, reminds us. Yeah.
So Panama for England, Croatia.
Mbappe, Haaland shootout.
Yeah.
Top goal scorer. Who'd you fancy?
Can you imagine the special that day? Mbappe and Haaland to score. That's got to be boosted, hasn't it?
Minus money. Didier Deschamps is one of the
tough group,
coaches and as a player, isn't he?
So that's why everyone's been betting Norway like sort of fancy prices, 40, 50 to 1.
Well, are they? Because they're still going to get through. Best third place?
Yeah,
but still get through.
Yeah, but
they could get someone like Ghana could end up in that group as well, and someone like Congo. You know what I mean? Just imagine that would be. I mean, you could get like the easy teams like your Haitis and New Zealanders of this world, but you know, I would say in pot 4, Ghana maybe the best team. Cape Verde and no mugs actually.
So, just looking at this draw now, Steve, the European qualifiers can go in A, B, C, D. They can't go in.
That's it. A, B, C, D. Then
no, they can't go in I. They can't go in L. They can go in any other group.
Oh, can they?
Yeah, I and L, the only 2 groups that have got two European teams, so they can go in any other group. So if you throw Brazil, Morocco, Italy, and Scotland, that becomes a very difficult group. Yeah. If you throw Germany, Italy, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador, that's a very, very tough group. And if you throw Italy and Spain, Italy, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia, that's another.
Well, Saudi are weak and so Uruguay, but there is going to be some significantly lopsided groups here. That is for sure.
England's group now is something that's quite easy, really, to perfect. They're going to, I know they've got the travel, the difference of the travelling, but it's not it's not a bad section of people because you're going to get a minnow here.
Looking at the teams in pot 4, Cape Verde qualified for the first time. That was a really nice story. Ghana in pot 4. I mean, they've got some terrific players. They always make it hard for themselves, don't they? But everyone remembers the South African World Cup when they probably should have beaten Uruguay by that handball and all that. Curacao in for the first time from CONCACAF region. Great to see them in. Haiti as well. Have they been in one World Cup previously, Haiti?
I think they have. I think they got beat 10-0 by someone. No, Honduras got beat 10-0. Yeah. I think Honduras. I don't know if Haiti have,
Yeah, New Zealand are going to get a solo to every single World Cup finals from here on in, aren't they? Because they're the only team in Oceania that they're any good, really, if we're honest about it. But they have been at a World Cup final previously. And then we get the playoff teams. We're not quite sure who's going to go through. Italy have been poor, but they're the only one that's going to make any sort of impact in the futures markets. That is an absolute given. So there's lots of either ors here. We might see Turkey and we might see Romania, we might see Bosnia Herzegovina, and we might see Wales, we might see Republic of Ireland as well. I mean, Sweden, it'd be great with Isak and Gyökeres and Graham Potter from an English standpoint to see them through, but it's not going to be easy. Ukraine would be a nice story, obviously. Czech Republic have gone deep previously, as have Denmark, so we'll see what happens. With these playoff winners. We've got that intercontinental playoff as well, haven't we? Not just the European playoff. So we are going to see some new teams make it through to the finals, and we are going to see all the groups completed. We'll have a quick look at the futures after the group draw is done before we depart. So let's see who's going to come out here. There are going to be either ors here. It's a little bit frustrating.
Imagine if Group A is Haiti, New Zealand, or say Jordan. I mean, it would be the easiest group that's ever been in World Cup, wouldn't it? But equally, we could end. Italy would love to be in Group A right now, but if Italy ended up qualifying, so which one is Italy? I'm trying to remind myself.
The opening game of the World Cup is going to be Mexico v South Africa.
I think so. Yeah,
right. That's the opening game of the World Cup.
Okay, here we go.
That's a Euro qualifier, looks like, or a qualifier of a group. That's a
right.
Denmark,
there we go, then.
North Macedonia, Czech Republic, or Republic of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland, they get through that. Whoever.
I mean, that's a lovely draw.
That makes
sense. All of those teams.
Whoever them teams in them playoff matches, whoever comes through there, be absolutely.
It's not great. I mean, for Ireland fans, if they do get through, you want them on the East Coast, don't you? And that's not on the East Coast.
Well, but they've got a great chance of getting through.
Oh, the group, that is all the teams that could be in that group will have a chance of qualifying out of
it. Next up, is it going to be another qualifier? Come on, Wayne. Take your time, but hurry up.
He's a bit slower than the rest of the others. Come on, Wayne.
Give
him a puck in his hand.
Another Euro qualifier.
Italy or Wales or Northern Ireland.
That is another. Well, they're the movers on the draw. Italy.
I mean, they're rubbish and they won't win it.
Wow.
They're the movers on the draw. Yeah, Italy will be half the price they were going into. Well,
they will. They will now.
That's their draw. Just because A plays B, didn't it? The winner of A will play the runner-up B. Is that how it works?
I think Switzerland will still have a great chance of winning the group. I think Canada come out of it probably with the winner of that playoff. Qatar will finish bottom of that group probably.
Yeah, winner of Group A will play third place in Group C, E, F, or H or I.
What do we got here?
Who else is Scotland going to get then? They get
Haiti. That's a banana scheme for Scotland. They'll beat Brazil and lose to them. They'll beat Brazil 1-0, and then they have to beat Haiti to qualify, and they get beat.
That would be incredible. That really would be incredible.
So, what will Scotland's first game be, Dan?
Haiti. It'll be Haiti.
Right.
Will it?
Yeah, it'll go. It'll be B1. It'll be. Wouldn't it be C1 v C2 and C3 v C4?
Those are the games that haven't been. They will be announced tomorrow.
Going to go.
The only ones that have been done.
Where's Group C?
The only ones that have been done are A, B, and D.
Oh, right.
The rest to be sorted out. You don't know who you're going to play, I think. Or in what order?
Group E is now going.
Top goal scorer odds.
Relief for the other three teams there.
Curacao. Well, there you go. They're all going to go through. Ronaldo Martinez and Messi 13. Yamal Lukaku at 17. So Haaland, Kane, and Mbappe 10-1 top goal scorer prices. Johnny says got to be a European winner.
Well, I can't be betting Haaland to be the top goal scorer in the World Cup with that draw, France and Senegal.
Where else is in the group?
You want a minnow, didn't you? England could have 2 minnows. England could have
Iraq,
Panama and
Bolivia, or
Jordan or something. That you want 2 minnows in your group for your top
look at that for Group D. It's so easy. A really easy Group D. Iraq,
Americans are going to be.
Whoever the German striker is will get 10 against.
I think America can win their group. I actually think America can win their group.
Well, they'd be favourites, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think it's got to be them.
What group did Euro playoff D Ireland get?
A, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Group A. The Irish, if they qualify, would have a really good group there, John.
Yeah, playoff D, Johnny. Playoff D, Johnny. So Mexico, South Africa, Korea in Group A. Which I don't know, they've got half a chance for sure if they get through. Of course, third.
Oh my! So they go into the group with America.
They won't go in F. They'll go in number H, I think.
When they go in D?
No, they'll go in. Yeah, they'll go in H. I think Cape Verde.
I feel your boots on.
So Spain.
They're always hard.
Spain now have. If you're going to H, it'll be Spain against Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde, and they haven't got a striker. But they'll rest.
Ayathabal.
That's a very, very easy group for Spain.
There you move.
Top goal scorer, Masters double.
Yeah, there you are. There you.
Spain can't ask for more than that, and the route forwards after this group as well, which they'll almost certainly win.
We wait
FIFA playoff 2. That's potentially Sweden there.
7 groups
in that group.
Who are we waiting for now?
Turkey, Romania. So they'll go with the US, will they? Turkey, Romania, Slovakia.
Yeah, that's going to have to be potentially Turkey, isn't it, in Group D?
D.
Esteval Golden Boot odds would be what? I don't know.
I mean, those 4 teams there. I mean, you can't rule any of those 4. Kosovo have been an improving nation.
I think Turkey are the best of those 4.
I think Turkey are the best of those. Yeah,
other 4 for sure. But you know.
And that, I'll tell you what,
if they make it through, they could win that group. If they make it through, they could win that group.
They could. That's all. You know, all the teams in Group D will fancy qualifying at least.
Yeah, I thought I commented on the Romania game recently. They were poor. Got beat off Bosnia Herzegovina.
Sweden then go into F, do they?
Yeah, they're going to F.
I think that's a good draw potentially for Sweden or Poland there.
Sweden if they get through, yeah.
Yeah. That's not that hard a group, really.
I mean, we're all thinking that Sweden are going to get through, but I mean, they've been so poor.
Well, I don't know. It depends which version of Sweden we see, if they get their players back fit.
This is Kane's World Cup, says Tribe of Ghana.
Well, I mean, he's going to have 2 minutes, but the trouble is with the 4th match we'll play will be Panama, and we might be.
Jordan are out of the hat.
Jordan will go in with, but they can't.
They can't go in with G, can they?
They'll go in with J when they.
Yeah, they're going to be with Argentina. Jordan are.
Yeah, they'll go J. Rio's doing the explaining. We're losing the will.
So is it looking like Ghana will go with England then? Is it?
Or New Zealand? Who's winner of playoff 1? Who's that in?
That's like potentially Congo, I think. Potentially Congo.
Yeah, it is.
Or Jamaica.
If Jamaica beat New Caledonia, which they probably will, it could be Jamaica.
Or Jamaica.
And then
I don't think we could get that. We couldn't get that because Jamaica can't go with Panama. England can't. England can't.
Resigned, hasn't he? Stephen McLaren.
Yeah. So they'll go in
with 4.
G, wouldn't it? Belgium, Egypt, Iran.
Yeah, it has to be G.
No Jamaica.
Has to be G. Yeah, so that would leave Ghana and New Zealand.
They've gone into K, Steve.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so we've only got New Zealand or Ghana.
Hang on a minute.
New Zealand or Ghana then. And they can go in either group. Either group. It's just pure look at the draw who comes out first.
Ronaldo top goal scorer.
New Zealand are the lowest ranked side who qualified, by the way, so far. the World Cup. Ghana come out first.
So yeah, there we go. Ghana into
They
Group
will
L.
go.
Group L.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, they will go in L because we can't go in
group.
G because of
Group.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just seen that Egypt are in G, so England will get Ghana.
Certainly makes it a bit more interesting. I mean, England are qualified, but it just makes it a bit more interesting. England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama.
I don't think Ghana are anything special these days, but you'd have obviously rather New Zealand over Ghana, just on the world rankings.
Look, we know the last team that's going to come out, and
that's a nice group for Belgium, isn't it?
It is going to be New Zealand.
I think Simon Holden will be backing them now, don't you?
Yeah, New Zealand group with Belgium, Egypt, Iran. Look, obviously, we have gone very long on this stream, longer than we thought we were going to do. We're just going to wrap things up. If we can get the futures up again, Steve, we can get the futures prices up. Just a quick chat from Nigel and Steve before we depart. Look, obviously, there's no market movements at the moment, but look, that Spain group makes you think they're going to have a nice, in terms of the venues, it could be interesting. And, I'd say Spain are a winner from that group. I
think Spain have been favourable. England's
favourable,
okay-ish, not great. I think the American national team have been given an amazingly easy group. Canada, I think the host nations, Mexico. I think all three of the home nations have had an absolutely brilliant draw, fantastic draw, and we know their route in the knockout stages is great. England will be accepting that draw, but obviously when they have to travel after where they are at the moment, I think it's going to be difficult. But I think Spain will be happy. I think the market movers will be the home nations. So, I mean, we didn't really expect a group to be top heavy but I think if you're a home nation this World Cup, you're happy with what you got.
Brilliant stuff. Steve, last word from you.
Great draw for the host nations, but otherwise Spain have got to be very, very happy with that. Italy, like Nigel said, they'll be very, very happy if they can make it through the playoffs.
Look, thanks to everyone who's joined in on the chat. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we've got all the winners' email details, and Troy's done brilliantly with that, as has John with the graphics. Many thanks to Steve and to Nigel, who's been transported from upstairs to downstairs for the show. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the World Cup draw. When the tournament comes around next summer, rest assured the best bets analysis will come from the Betting Weekly team. We'll have full coverage every day, every game throughout all of the action in North America, and lots of analysis post the draw over the next few weeks and months, I'm sure. Many thanks to everyone. That is your lot from us tonight. Have a good betting weekend. We'll see you Monday.
See you all.